Department of Homeland Security's Assistance to Firefighters Grant Program. The fire stations located in Columbiana, Bessemer Parish, and Craigford will share portions of an $892,000 grant to make upgrades and improvements. An Alabama bill proposes giving the Attorney General or Governor the authority to appoint an interim police chief in cities with high crime rates. State Representative Reed Ingram, who authored the bill, explains that the interim chief would not replace the current chief but work together to address crime. Filling in for the vacationing Andrea Tice, I'm Tim Berg.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
What's your biggest investment? More than likely, it's your home. So treat it that way when you hire a painting contractor. With PBS Painting, there are no gimmicks, no $99 specials. Just quality painting and someone who treats your home with the same respect that you do. At PBS Painting, we have been painting for years and look forward to many more years to come. With PBS Painting, the job gets prepped properly, whether it's cleaning, scraping, or priming. We always use quality products, which is a must for a quality paint job. So if you're looking for a painter that doesn't need upfront money and is on the job at all times, please give me a call. Scott Bowers and PBS Painting, 294-5122. That's PBS Painting, 294-5122. Look at some of our work on Facebook at PBS Painting Montgomery.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-488-2594. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 five-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-488-2594. That's 800-488-2594. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Hey, miss! I don't mean to be telling tales out of school, but there's a feller in there who'll pay you $10 if you sing into his pan. I'm not here to make a record, you dumb cracker. They broadcast me out on the radio.
How you conduct yourself in a democracy?
Joey Clark.
Welcome into News and Views in the afternoon. Here on a Friday, and thank God it is Friday. I'm ready to get out of here already, going up to Birmingham to see the new Deadpool movie with an old friend. So I'm excited for that upcoming. And, of course, Craig Monger is in the house. Hey, Craig, how you doing?
Oh, I'm doing swell, Joey. How are you?
I'm doing great, and I thought he was going to be a little late because duty calls, but he's already sitting down, suiting up.
Was that D-U-T-Y or D-O-O-D-I-E?
I don't even know.
Yeah.
I don't even know at this point. Eddie, how you doing?
I'm doing wonderful, ladies. How are y'all doing?
Oh, we're all right.
Good to see y'all both.
Yeah,
it's wonderful to see you. You are a sight for sore eyes.
Oh.
Literally, I have a sore eye. It's swollen.
What happened?
I don't know. Like my left eye is. I rubbed it this morning just to get and I was just like it was bigger than the others, and it hurts. It feels like sort of swollen. I don't know what it is.
I can see a little red and puffiness.
Yeah, I do have kids though. So
because you lost that bet.
I was expecting you to come in with like one of your Chinese bought shirts that were just like $100 bills.
You guys.
just to rub it in my
I
face.
didn't get here in time.
For those who don't know, y'all made a bet last Friday that
Yeah.
Biden would not. You said Biden would not drop out by what?
By Monday, I thought he would do it at the convention.
Oh, and Eddie said no, he would drop out over the weekend, and he did. He
I
dropped out
still
on
don't
Sunday.
know how he pulled that out because it was done on a Sunday.
Football coaches. The more they deny they're leaving, that's what I've learned. They are leaving.
Would you stop banging the table?
Well, who was the coach that said you'd have to take me out of here in a pine box?
And the next day he was gone, or that afternoon he was gone. I mean, that's
How's it going, Coach? Coach Tupper.
I've learned that. I've learned that, Joey.
Come to me. I'm a man. I'm 40.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, you're right, Eddie. When they get to protest in there, no, there's no way. I'm putting my foot down here, and no, of course. Okay. So you lost the bet.
I did lose the bet, and I owe Eddie some Brazilian barbecue. Even though you fools have yet to confirm a date, you're worse scheduling than
I
Wednesday.
think
No,
next Saturday.
Here's the deal.
Next
It was supposed to
Saturday.
be you and I this Saturday. Then Joey jumped in. I can't make it till next Saturday. I'm thinking we can get another driver because that's basically what Joey's job is.
If you girls want to go on some date, go ahead.
Oh,
No,
dude,
I
we'll
mean-
be playing footsies under the table
Yeah.
while we're like flipping the thing. Well, but let's be honest, we're not flipping the tab. It's
I don't-
staying on green.
I think it's going on green.
It's
Pretty
staying on
much on the
green.
regular. Yeah.
yeah.
No, next Saturday.
There's a 4-drink
Can't this
minimum,
one.
by the way, on the tab. You know, he's throwing back Long Island iced teas. He's buying.
Usually it's when I'm there, it's just water.
Yeah.
Just water. I'm there for the meats.
No, see, honestly, I used to buy the myth that like drinking soda would fill up your stomach. It's
Yeah.
actually when you see these professional eaters, they drink soda.
Dude,
There's something about
That guy,
it.
man with beard, whatever. He's
Beard versus food.
Yeah,
I
Diet
love
Coke
that
guy. Dude, he can put it away. I don't know how he does it.
It physically makes no sense what he's able to do. His torso is small.
Yeah,
Not just
he's
his stomach.
small
His
guy.
torso is smaller than the portions that he's eating.
Yep.
It doesn't make sense physically.
Now I'm thinking of Andrew Schultz and his reference to the rat eating contest in North Korea. Ate 45 rats this year. Any more you
were
can
they
eat next
fried?
year.
What was that lady's name? Suki Park. Well,
I don't know.
She went on Joe Rogan.
Oh.
She went on Joe Rogan.
Oh no, Yummy.
Oh, Yummy Park, yeah, and he apparently made an observation about the size of a particular part of her anatomy, and he
Oh,
said,
yeah,
"I
yeah.
told my girl to start eating rats immediately."
And talk about a crazy story from there. But
Oh,
anyway, the last 2 weeks, it's like I'm almost tired now. It's like a hangover from the last 2 weeks of news.
I'm exhausted.
Well, what came out finally came out, and it's a little bit of a cringe video, like way too staged. But the Obamas have now endorsed Kamala Harris.
I thought I heard something like that.
Yeah, that's why I wish I was here on Monday because I heard your Kamala prediction and I thought it was wrong, and I wanted to call in and make a double
counter
or
bet?
nothing. I wanted to make a double or nothing because you thought
I would have took it.
You thought that they were going to throw her
Yeah.
out for, but you
I still kind of wonder come convention time.
you can't.
And he's not alone in this.
Yeah, but the thing is, that's why when I saw that Biden had endorsed her on his way out,
Yeah.
I'm like, the same people that sort of gave him the nudge, they're not going to give him a double humiliation of not acknowledging his endorsement. So it would be kind of a double humiliation. So whoever gave him the boot,
Yeah.
also kind of gave him the confirmation that yes, she's going to be the nominee.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, and I don't see it. And there are a lot of folks who feel like it's it's a done deal now. The nation just didn't want Trump Biden. Now that you got Kamala Harris, I mean, she's young. Well, relatively, she's a woman, as far as I can tell,
Yeah,
and she is a woman of color. And I love that now that is the term of art that is like the umbrella term because I was about to say African American, but she's not.
She's not.
No, she's her dad was her dad was Jamaican and her mom Indian, or was it
Yes.
vice versa?
Yes.
I think Dad's Jamaican.
And I don't think the dad and her are tight.
Yeah, that's what.
Like
I'm
I think he
saying.
lives in D.C. and he didn't even go to the inauguration when she was sworn as vice president.
Well, I wouldn't. I would have disowned her.
Yeah.
She married a white man.
Oh, that's another thing. And he's
Yeah,
the whitest.
I
of
don't know all the
whites.
details of that story. Oh well, Doug
Dude, he's
Doug and
dome and
all.
all. I mean, it doesn't get much whiter.
Yeah, he's whiter than him. He was born with a 750 credit score.
Yes.
he's whiter than a Band-Aid.
Exactly.
Right?
He's so white.
Isn't he Jewish too?
Yeah, but those are white according to some people.
According to the left.
According to the left, yeah.
It's so screwy. The racial politics, the identity politics these days. I'm just so ready for intersectionality to be in the dustbin of history, but it won't be.
No.
Because I think this is what is driving and going to drive this campaign. And there are a lot of folks excited, about Kamala, like Taylor Swift and Beyonce are going to be on board.
Yeah, but
I mean, they're going to
just
pull out
part of
all the
that-
stops in Hollywood.
And the media is like, they got their marching orders so quick.
Oh, yeah.
You know, somebody leaked Democratic talking points,
Oh, I saw
and the
that.
media are just doing it exactly. That's the list.
Yeah,
That's
right.
like the script to use.
It's frustrating because I generally believe that the vast majority of people shouldn't be allowed to have driver's license, much less vote. But it is fantastic to see that the amount of gaslighting that they're willing to do just because they are counting on the stupidity of their audience.
Absolutely.
And it never ceases to amaze me. That's why I posted on Twitter. I don't know if you saw that clip from Train Spotting.
No, I didn't see
We're
that.
ruled by effete a-holes.
That's about right.
Yeah.
No, if you think about it, I think most of, say, human history, politics and human history, I guess it's very Machiavelli, but it's the lion, like violence and strength and courage. Well, if you're not going to have as much violence in your political system, which I'm okay with,
Yeah.
I'm glad that we don't have as many political assassinations as other places.
Exactly.
And that just shouldn't be. I'm glad we aren't having like civil war after civil war like the Romans did.
Thank you.
That's a very good thing. But if you take away the violent part, what do you get? Oh, you get the fox, you get the liars, the manipulators, these types, and they clearly run our country. In fact, reputational destruction is traditionally more a female form of bullying. Now, there are a lot of effeminate men who run our politics, but it is miserable. It's one thing, I was talking about this with Dr. Tankersley yesterday, Craig. It's one thing, like, I think all of us in this room, everybody out there listening, has had moments of weakness where you tell a white lie or a fib or you hold back. You didn't tell the truth. You weren't completely forthright and honest in your life. And it was a moral failing, a failing of character. Everybody has those. But when it's a lie that an entire class of people, say like the corporate media, is pushing at the same time in the same exact way, that's on a different level than personal dishonesty. That is a program of depravity that is being used to achieve a certain agenda. So I want to start with this because I found this clip from Scott Adams. This is on his local site, and he's doing these things called micro lessons. And this micro lesson is on brainwashing and politics.
All right.
And I think he hits the nail on the head perfectly here. Now, just to summarize it, he thinks everybody's brainwashed. The left is brainwashed, the right is brainwashed, but the brainwashing is very different. And yes, there are some free thinkers who might, he even cites like Cenk Younger as a free thinker, that Cenk's nuts, but he's not part of the Democratic media apparatus brainwashing. He at least thinks for himself outside of that to a large degree, even though maybe he's more obnoxious than the current brainwashing. Point is that everybody, for the most part, is usually brainwashed by one of these two competing interests. And there are occasionally folks who break the mold, but it's pretty rare. So here is Scott Adams laying out his theory. I think it's a good way to start as we're trying to understand this wild political season on a Friday.
All right, here's a hypnotist take on the current situation in politics. Now, the standard view of politics is that people have different priorities and preferences, and they're trying to argue it out in the political field. As a hypnotist, I can see that nothing like that is happening. There's an entire artificial layer that's preventing you from seeing what's really happening. So let me explain it. Over on the Democrat side, which is quite different from the Republican side, you've got some combination of brainwashers that literally include the CIA and people who have been trained by it. You've got the captured media, everything from ABC, MSNBC, NBC, CBS, etc., CNN. And these are literally working together as a team with Democrat leaders, and of course, big tech, with the exception of X. Collectively, the skill level in brainwashing that they demonstrate is weapons grade, literally weapons grade. It's the same techniques used by the CIA to overthrow other countries. It's just being used internally at the moment. So as a result, Democrat voters, like all voters, are brainwashed, but they're brainwashed with a weapons grade kind of brainwashing that you can see from the outside, but they certainly cannot see from the inside. It wouldn't be brainwashing if they knew what was happening. There's a different kind of brainwashing happening on the Republican side, which is, I'm going to call it commercial grade, which is just a level below the weapons grade. And It's basically a combination of forces that are not organized. One of them is individuals come up with a conspiracy theory and other people say, I like that.
Oh,
and
yeah.
it spreads. Or the Hannitys of the world who have a show, which he doesn't hide the fact that he takes a side and he's promoting his side. But if you don't understand that he's doing it as part of the entertainment package, you could easily be hypnotized and brainwashed to think that everything he says is correct and that he's not leaving out any context. He's leaving out some context.
Yeah, he is.
Even if you agree with him, he's not trying to show you both sides. So if you think everything that your favorite pundits say is true and you're leaning right, you're probably at least commercial grade hypnotized, brainwashed, if you will. Now, there are some people whose, let's say, their mental capacity allows them to escape these models, both of them. And you see some examples like Elon Musk. On the Democrat side, Cenk Uygur, you don't have to agree with him. You just have to see my point that he has escaped the brainwashing. He is his own person. Likewise, Bill Ackman, you could come up with a few more names for this list.
Eric Weinstein would
but
be an example.
the important thing is that both sides are brainwashed, but on one side, there's at least a pretty good chance of escape. And the reason that there's a chance of escape on the Republican conservative side is that they're using a patchwork of what I'd call commercial grade persuasion. And some of it is accidental. The conspiracy theories are not intended to persuade. They're just things that people found interesting and glommed onto it. So if you understand that the Democrats cannot be woken up because they're experiencing weapons grade brainwashing, but you do see that the Republicans can, and they seem to be waking up more often, then you'll understand the entire situation. But if you believe this is a contest between preferences, it's not. It's not even close to that. It's nothing like that. It's literally brainwashing versus brainwashing, but two different styles. And that's your micro lesson on politics.
And I started with that because, Craig, you said to me off air that you hate this time of year.
I loathe it. Well, first of all, can someone please, for the love of God, get Scott Adams an antihistamine? Someone, please.
No, and he said he used an app called Descript to edit out filler words, add captions, improve the sound to studio quality. You'll notice the micro edits.
I actually didn't. That's actually whatever.
So that might have done something to his voice too.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
But it did sound like he, needed some nasal spray.
I agree.
It's fine. I think he's brilliant. I think that was a brilliant analysis.
But you said to me off air that you hate it in particular because everybody starts becoming so dishonest about everything.
Correct. And I noticed it. Who's the guy who owns Truth? Is that Andrew Torba? Is that his name? Yeah, okay. It was when Trump came out and bashed Project 2025. I thought that was a really bad move, just because I didn't think there was anything particularly dramatic about the Project 2025. But he came out and said what he said. And Andrew Torba was like, "Oh, you guys don't understand the art of the deal. This is the Project 2025ve was meant to give a radical side, so that way whenever
it's the big ask at the beginning of the
big ask, and then when you come back to the middle, you're a little bit closer to where you actually want to be because you're big ask." I'm like, is there literally anything that this man can do that you would say is a bad move? That's what I talked about last week about the sycophantism. It really is unspeakably ugly to me, because if you are latched into one person so much that you cannot say that was a bad move, then you are not a free thinker. You're a sycophant. And you see that obviously you see it with Trump, and I think it's a good idea because, people talk and they listen to these conservative commentators and they like Trump. And that's fine, but you have to be able to criticize him. Now, of course, when he talked about the military grade brainwashing on the other side, you see that as plain as day. It's as plain as the pike staff.
It's starting to freak me out. It's how quick it's done too. And it's done on people who in my family, who I don't normally talk to, who I consider pretty smart people, and it's like, man, you're living in a different world.
Yeah, well, I mean, and it's played out so dramatically whenever you have like a Charlie Kirk type guy who's fine, but he's whatever.
Big head, small eyes.
Yeah, but whenever he goes to these college campuses and he'll talk to people, they cannot engage in any sort of rational conversation, any sort of discourse in an honest way. Not only because they don't have the facts, they have been told what to think. And when you're told what to think, anytime that's challenged, you haven't even had an internal dialogue about that. Right. My wife, this is a serious thing. My wife has asked me who I'm talking to on the phone when I'm coming home. Like, I'll come and I'll sit in the car and I'll be talking. I'm like, no, I'm arguing with myself. I'm trying to argue myself out of a position.
Wow.
That's to your credit. Most people don't do that. If you can have an argument with yourself to try to poke holes in your own position, you are undefeatable in the public square because nobody knows you as much as you, and you know where your best weaknesses are.
See, I do that by like calling Eddie at night, and I just start talking. Yeah, I do it on occasion.
That's why Eddie handles that by not answering the phone at 9 at night anymore.
Or just get sloshed.
You still answer the phone. You enjoy the conversation.
Because I'm always worried you're going to be, I'm in jail.
Well, right.
But I think that is the goal to maturity, or the path to maturity, I should say, is the intentional shedding of contradictions.
Right. Well, and also, let's be clear that even if you do break out of the brainwashing, that doesn't change the dynamic. This is still a dynamic, and it still is a binary choice. And I think, gun to my head, some days I say pull the trigger, put the bullet in there. But, I would say I think Trump is going to give more of a chance to upset this corrupt ruling class that has created this massive debt, caused all these wars. I think he gives the better shot at that. Do I think he's going to be perfect at it, or is he going to balk at certain opportunities? Of course he is.
It's human.
Yeah.
But, so I find I agree with you. I get in these same moods of frustration of like, why is everything so dishonest? And I think the brainwashing goes a long way to explaining it.
It's more frustrating for me. I'm more critical of people on the right than on the left because they're closer to the truth. They have a little bit more of the truth on their side. So I'm like, you're almost there. Just keep going a little further and a little further. That's when you get like a Thomas Massey, honestly.
Sure.
Like he's not a partisan.
Or I would even say like for instance, Ro Khanna says things that I'm like, I roll my eyes. But the debate he had with Vivek a few months back, I'm like, oh, Ro Khanna seems like actual and honest broker that breaks with his own party. John Fetterman.
Yeah.
Has been breaking with his own party. I'm like, shockingly.
Yep.
So there are those folks. And then you go, well, what about the folks that break with party like a Liz Cheney and Mitt Romney? I'm like, don't even get me started. Because at that point, again, it's not about the binary choice or the two choices of brainwashing. It's more about, are you an insider playing the game with the establishment? And that's clearly what Liz was doing, for instance.
They didn't break from the party. They just got out of their DeLorean and joined the party from 20 years ago.
Right.
Like, they didn't break with the party.
Well
They're just a little behind the times.
They turned it up to 88.
Yeah. That's good.
Where we're going, we don't...
We don't need roads.
Sorry, I was going to finish the quote, but
now talk about that's a libertarian journey. We don't need roads.
We don't need roads. What does Eric July say about the roads?
We don't need roads where we're going. Let's go to line one. You're on there. Who's this?
Hey there, Joey. It's Arthur Herman.
Hey, Arthur. How are you, sir? I thought we were going to be doing. I thought we were going to be doing 1 o'clock our time, 2 o'clock your time. But good to hear your voice, sir.
Oh, is it 2 o'clock? 2 o'clock my time?
That's what I was thinking.
Okay, then let's do that.
Okay,
let's do that. But I was listening, fascinated by the conversation, so I felt like I had to step in anyway and see what's going on. I thought it was very interesting. I was listening to Scott Adams earlier today talking about precisely that same issue of the role of hypnosis as part of political discourse today. And I think it's important to remember that we've got one very, very powerful instrument which is acting in this way. It used to be thought that it was talk radio. Remember when talk radio was programming all of the mind-numb robots out there, the Rush Limbaughs and the Sean Hannitys and others. But we actually do have one, and that's social media. And I think that the role that social media has played is in terms of encouraging both intellectual conformity as well as political conformity can't be discounted here. And which all information has really come down to small all verbal information comes down to small bites. and packages of information, as opposed to something that requires, a paragraph or two to explain and to explicate.
Yeah, and
and then when you see with a tool such as TikTok, which has been able, a social media platform that is under the control of a foreign entity, a hostile foreign entity, and that has learned how to use the hypnotic power of suggestion as one of the driving elements of its algorithm, the algorithm that ByteDance built, and that allows you to feed more and more information to viewers and users of TikTok based upon their visual recognition of certain images, of certain symbols in the course of using the app. What you have is a powerful instrument for brainwashing, but it's only the culmination of what social media has been able to drive, and it's been able to have the effect that it's had on our political discourse and on how even our elected officials, as well as the media, have to respond to what's happening in the social media. It becomes a driver for how people think about and how people talk about these kinds of issues.
Well, and it is an odd time also in the sense that you have this very almost emotional, animalistic response you see on social media and the programming on more of a subconscious level. But then this new world of the internet has also allowed for the long form conversation that I think is much more open and isn't quite the same form of brainwashing as the, addictive 60-second clip. So you're getting a mix of folks who are clearly under the influence of some propaganda campaigns, and then you're getting folks that are able to talk around them. And I think it's creating a weird dynamic that's causing a change that in some ways I hate it. In some ways it gives me a lot of hope, though. And maybe some of this always comes back to what's the old idea that the theologian has a different idea of, say, the faith and the religion than, say, the average person, layman in the pew. And, say somebody working on the National Security Council might have a different, say, nuanced view of American foreign policy than the average person who's listening to Trump, or maybe even the average candidate in the way they put out the conversation. So maybe it's bridging the divides between the folks who actually run things and then getting people bought in on it.
Well, that's really the key, isn't it? It's the question of how you bridge those two different communities. Because on the one hand, and later on we're going to talk about foreign policy issues when we get back on phone at the 2:00 hour, my time, 1:00 your time.
Yes, sir.
What we'll do, at the same time, you also don't want to have it where you have an elite who feel that they have a command over the nuances of foreign policy or policy of any kind, which gives them a deeper and superior insight to that of the common citizen and of the person who doesn't have access to the sources that are provided to them by other power holders, by other members of the elite. And one of the things is, I was thinking about this with the Trump assassination attempt, and the degree to which all of that unfolded, in which the people in the audience, right, the people who were watching, had a much better grasp of what was happening, of what the threat level looked like, and being able to understand all the different elements than the bloody Secret Service did. I mean, the Secret Service are supposed to be that elite who understand and have a superior grasp of how to organize and secure an event of this sort. And it turned out that they were, in fact, relatively clueless compared to the people who were, simply wandering around with their iPhones, taking pictures, pointing out, there's a guy on the roof, and it looks like he's got a rifle. There's a ladder up against the building, which he must have used. And on the one hand, you sort of say, hey, that's, again, social media, right? That's the power of social media. That's the power of the way in which the smartphone has decentralized power and decentralized information. So I think there's a positive side to that development, as well as the negative one that we've just been talking about here as well. And what we're seeing more and more is that those who have set themselves up as being the elite, whether it's in foreign policy, whether it's in law enforcement, like the FBI and the CIA, that in fact their grasp is not really that much better than that of ordinary people, and in fact may in some cases be even less. And that's the fuel that drives a populist revolution, when people come to realize that the elites don't really understand better than I do, and in fact may have even less of a grasp of what's really going on than those of us here on the ground do.
And one of my favorite examples of that might be, I think of all the diplomats, all the brilliant minds that for the longest time have been working on the Hermit Kingdom of North Korea. And then Trump steps up to the UN and starts tweeting, "Fat little rocket man will never have nuclear weapons." And it probably freaks some people out, but it seems that sort of brashness worked into his favor. And and I know you got.
I did. He cut through the BS.
Right.
I cut through the BS, and I think we're going to see something like that. Honestly, Joey, I think we're going to see something like that when it comes to the war in Ukraine, where again we've seen a war that was undertaken by and guided by with the superior insights and understanding of our foreign policy elite, and not just here, but also transatlantically with the elite in Europe, who thought that they had the grasp of what was really at stake and why perpetuating that war was so important. And what we've come to realize now is that those who instinctively thought, maybe this is not really the direction we want to go in, not the kind of commitment we really need, and that those like Trump, who sort of said this war's got to come to an end, actually may have again cut through the nonsense and gotten to the heart of the matter.
Here. Well, I'll call you, or you call me back at 2:00 your time, and we'll keep this going. I want to give the audience your insights on what a second Trump term's foreign policy might look like in more detail.
Hey, we'll look forward to it.
Thank you, sir.
Talk to you then, Joey. Okay, bye-bye.
Again, that's Arthur Herman. He's a senior fellow at the Quantum Alliance Initiative and at the Hudson Institute there in Washington, D.C. And I really got to know his work. He's a best-selling historian. And so he was a Pulitzer finalist for his book Gandhi and Churchill. One of my favorite books ever written is his book called The Cave in the Light, which is a study of, say, Western thought. It's a sprint through the history of Western thought through the lens of Aristotle versus Plato. He also wrote Freedom's Forge, which is about the mobilization.
How the Scots Invented the Modern World is a good one.
Brilliant book.
Yeah.
Like The Viking Heart is, I think, one of the more recent ones.
It's on my list.
So I think he's probably my favorite historian. I've read a lot of books from this guy. Rule the Waves also, another great book about the history of the British Navy and how it developed. Yeah, we got our lines crossed there, our wires crossed there, but
it's all good.
It was a happy accident.
Time zones.
A happy accident. How about this? Let's hit a quick break. But first, this part of the program brought to you by All Pro Heating, Air, and Electrical. Hey, and Eddie, you know about these Generac generators, don't you?
Yes, I do. And I know summers like this is when you want one. Because let's say we get a little tornado action or a little thunderstorm action, power goes out, you got no AC just for a few hours. Well, it's 98 degrees outside. If you have that Generac, you never even notice. It's like a bump in the night. Yep. A friend of mine's got one, and he does a lot of streaming. He lives out of town, so he kind of depends on his Wi-Fi a lot. He said his streaming doesn't even lose. When
there's not even a hiccup.
Yep. Which is shocking to me.
And of course, if you have, say, things like medical devices that you need to keep on, let's say like an oxygen tank.
Exactly, Joey.
That can work for you there. That Generac generator, and All Pro has your back in installing one of those. And there's many models of Generac generators depending on what you need exactly. And of course, they can help you with your HVAC system there at All Pro. If you haven't gotten a basic checkup done on your AC system in the middle of this summer, you need to, because I think it's going to get worse in August.
Yeah, dog days of summer are here.
You do not want that thing to crap out in the middle of an Alabama summer. So why not call up All Pro at 301-1961. That's 301-1961, and have them come out, check out your AC system, make sure everything is running right. And of course, you can always go to allproheatingair.com and be sure to tell them, however you get in touch, that Joey and Eddie, those fellas on the radio, send you.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
When you have the opportunity to go for gold, take it. The Lexus Golden Opportunity Sales Event is at Lexus of Montgomery. Drive the new IS 300, just $396 a month. New Lexus ES 350, only $473 a month. At Lexus of Montgomery, everybody wins. Part of the Sutherland Automotive Group.
Number 5130706, 4,999 due at signing. Number U1844206, 5,999 due at signing. 5,000 miles per year, 36 months, plus tax, tag, title, 995 fee. Offer expires 7/31/24.
Hi there, I'm Kim Williams with Alabama Home Mortgage.
And I'm Madeline Cannon. And we have some exciting news to share with you. We've been serving the state of Alabama for many, many years. And now we are able and ready to offer the same great mortgage financing in Georgia and Florida as well.
Our company may be Alabama Home Mortgage, but now we can finance your Georgia home mortgage and your Florida home mortgage too. We couldn't be more excited to extend our customer base to our neighboring states. For years, we have had customers call us in hopes we could assist them with purchasing their vacation cabin in North Georgia or their dream home in Florida. And now we can. For those of you who have family and friends that live in Florida and Georgia, be sure to tell them the good news.
Whether you are looking to purchase or refinance a home located in Alabama, Georgia, or Florida, you owe it to yourself to give Alabama Home Mortgage a call at 567-4223. That's 567-4223. Or visit us online at myalabamahomemortgage.com to complete an application on your time.
It's not just a slogan. Call Alabama Home Mortgage because, folks, there is a difference in mortgage companies. NMLS 1586-36-8, Equal Housing Lender.
This is your roving reporter, and today I am talking with an elk. Hey man, Mr. Elk, I was just wondering, what do elk do to take care of their money? Well, like most smart folks, we call David Ernest. You mean Alabama's most favorite asset preservationist? That's him, man. We call him up at 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. I see. Yes, he is our preferred money man. The money man with the money plan. You've been paying attention. Well, could you give us those numbers one more time? 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. And I just want to try to give you a heads up, man. Oh, what's that? I'm not an elk. Not an elk, huh? Well, then, pray tell, what are you? Knights of Columbus. I am not even going to make a comment. Well, the baby liked it.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
Rich Thomas weather brought to you by Wiley Sanders Truck Lines. Truckers, if you are looking for green grass, contact Wiley Sanders Truck Lines. In business since 1959 and still growing. Call today, 855-777-9785.
Well, hi, everybody. Not much change in our weather pattern over the next few days. Maybe the radar not quite as lively, but daily high temperatures with limited sunshine, I would say 88 to 91 each day through at least Sunday. Lows at night will be in the low 70s. Scattered showers and thunderstorms will be random and most numerous in the afternoon and evening hours today and right on through the weekend. Little day-to-day change. Our weather app will keep you on top of the action of where the storms are, where the lightning is, where the storms are going to be, plus notifications for severe weather statements and warnings. Free in the App Store, just search Rich Thomas Weather. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Do you have big plans this summer? Dive into summer with an ASE Credit Union vacation loan. Whether you've got a trip coming up, projects at home, or just need a little extra cash, we've got you covered. So don't put your plans on hold. Visit yourasecu.com or stop by and see us today.
We get Montgomery talking 24 hours a day. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Well, you just got a preview of the guests we have coming up at 1 o'clock. Arthur Herman will be joining us again. He has a great op-ed out in the National Interest talking about what would a Trump second-term foreign policy look like. And so we'll be getting into that. And of course, the Obamas, if you missed it, the Obamas have endorsed Kamala. Some are calling her Kamala.
Oh.
All of Twitter trying to come up with nicknames. And I guess what Trump called her Lion Kamala.
Mm.
And he spelled it L-Y.
Oh, I see. I get
Lion.
Yeah, Tuberville called her crazy Kamala. I like that better.
L-Y-I-N apostrophe, folks, apostrophe. Yeah. Oh, yeah, Tuberville hard-hitting op-ed today at 1890 News.
Yeah.
What's
Tuberville doesn't mess around, man. I'm telling
lately,
you.
especially after the whole hold on military abortions and whatnot.
He is about that life. I feel you got to put respect on
Last
it.
time he was on the show, and apparently our hours aren't great for his normal schedule,
Yeah.
but last time he was on the show, he's like, Joey, there are a bunch of Satanists up here.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, wow, he's got no chill.
So him and I would disagree on plenty of things,
Sure,
and,
sure.
as with most people, like with Israel or whatever. But you can't not respect the fact that he is essentially that Dutch boy with his finger in the dike, just holding it back.
Right.
He is a lone voice in the wilderness, as far as I'm concerned. When you can call your colleagues demons and demonic and all this other stuff, man, he don't give up about nothing. And you got to respect that. You have to.
Yep. Let's go to Red Top here. Hey, Red Top, how you doing?
Hey, good afternoon, guys. Yes, I was, everybody's got a lot of the podcasts and all this kind of stuff, but I don't think any of it makes any difference in the reality of changing the way of life. It would have happened, but really it's not doing anything, it seems, in a lot of cases. I would have liked to talk about a couple things brought up this week in Montgomery. It's very important. Business licenses and fees are going to be going up from 5 to 100%.
Yep.
And
Depending on the
mayor-
fee or license. Yeah.
Yeah, just to be in competition with other towns.
Well, there's
what's
also
the
another
logic
article
behind that?
on WSFA where the mayor saying the city's got plenty of money. So why are we getting up on
this
stuff?
morning.
What are we doing?
Yeah, now, and
It's really easy to have lots of money when you don't have to pay those pesky police
Right.
officers because they ain't there.
So for the lack of service we're getting, we're fixing to charge more.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
well,
plus,
they
when
got
you can
plenty of
take
money.
credit for a state task force, that's
Dude, Marshall.
We'll get into that.
Okay, we'll get into that. Yeah.
Hey guys, I got more than enough money for police. Yesterday they had a show at Alabama State University here in Montgomery of the 3 SWAT teams they have in Montgomery. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
They got plenty of money, guys. They got lots of equipment. We got 3 SWAT teams in Montgomery, but we still got people shooting all over the place every night. What good is a city of 200,000 people need? Why does we need 3 SWAT teams? Waste of money, guys. They got their priorities wrong, and I agree with Craig. Yes, they should be spending their money instead of on blue lights, the actual soldiers that are in the trenches, and they don't need to be raising these fees just because we're supposed to be in line with everybody else. I don't think that's a good way to run government. How about you guys?
I agree
Roll Tide, go
100%.
Trump.
Thanks, man. 272-9228. Yeah, well, how about like either 1:30 or 2? I do want to address, there's this big press conference that was, Steve Marshall, Hal Taylor of Aaliyah.
Yeah. James Grayboy.
Yes, he the interim chief from Montgomery.
Yeah, you really got to remember to put the R on that name, by the way. I accidentally left it out the other day when I was.
And is it
typing.
Gray Boy or Gray Boys?
It's pronounced, but the S is silent. I think it's Francais. Because I asked him whenever he was first announced.
I've been told he's a pretty cerebral guy. Pretty smart guy.
I have absolutely, thus far, I have zero bad to say about him. He's incredibly well spoken. He seems sincere. I don't think he's dishonest. I think obviously he's a part of a dishonest government apparatus. But that means nothing
And
for himself.
of course,
personally.
the sheriff's office was there too.
Yeah, and Derek Cunningham. God, I love that man.
Yeah, he's awesome.
He's fantastic. He's such an affable guy when you like talk to him. But he got up there behind the mic. He's like, "We're coming for you." I was like, "I believe you." and I will be going the speed limit on my way home.
So yeah, but it was interesting, and we need more time to really discuss in between the lines there.
Yeah.
The Attorney General kind of spelled it out.
He in like essentially like the book of Daniel on the wall. You have been weighed, you have been measured.
Yes, yeah, I think that's exactly what's going on. But I want to give a quick reality check because we got a lot of folks who are excited now for Kamala, like or pretending to be excited for Kamala, or who are genuinely excited for her. Like she's a black woman. What's there not to be excited about?
She's just never mind.
Don't be brainwashed, Craig.
Don't get triggered.
That's the best way to...
Don't let it happen.
Yeah, it's like in the middle of Eddie being fighting mad. Hey, calm down.
Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly. Oh, grease fire? Get some water. Throw it on there.
Here's the classic, the Grim Reaper himself, James Carville, bringing everybody back down to earth on MSNBC.
Yeah.
You know, of course, he's been on this role of saying these preachy women, these preachy females in the Democratic Party are going to ruin this for us.
Same could be said for the GOP, by the way.
So here's Carville kind of telling everybody, hey, pump the brakes.
Well, I hate to do this, but I got to be the curmudgeon. I have to be the skunk at the garden party. This is too triumphalist, okay? This is everybody's giddy. I look at the coverage and it's great, and if I had to write a play about what I think it's going to be like, it would be entitled The Ice Pick Cometh. Okay? Get ready, they're coming. All right? And it's good. Everybody should feel good and liberated and everything else. But if we don't win the election, we haven't done anything. We haven't changed the temperature in America. We haven't changed anything. And I think the vice president, I hope that, her campaign is getting ready. I hope they'll listen to my friend and fellow New Orleanian, Don Brazil, who actually, I think, has the same kind of view of politics that I do. And they're coming at us. And they're going to keep coming. And this kind of giddy elation is not going to be very helpful much longer, because that's not what we're going to be faced with. And I think the vice president, put it in athletic terms, needs a really good cut man in a corner, because she's getting ready to get cut.
I think that's accurate.
Yeah.
And I would also say to Republicans, and this is me, again, talking about arguing with yourself, like, I don't see it when I look at Kamala Harris. I see somebody who's a creature of that ruling class I dislike. I see somebody who's willing to say whatever she needs to say in the moment and twist herself up, talking out of both sides of her mouth. But do not underestimate her. And do not underestimate this force that is behind her.
Yeah.
The system is still very strong.
They put Joe Biden in there.
Yeah, so it's no guarantee for Trump by any means.
Right.
We got to hit this break. We'll be right back.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Your moment has arrived. It's time to shed the normal day-to-day version of yourself and let your most fabulous self loose. Make your way to Wind Creek Atmore, because whatever your idea of fabulous is, this is where you'll find it. Wind Creek Atmore. It's your kind of fabulous. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hey folks, thank you for making CTE Outdoor Power a preferred dealer and Hustler one of the most popular riding mowers. Recently, I met a couple from Evergreen who discovered us because friends recommended both CTE and Hustler. They heard our team of friendly, helpful professionals would guide them to the Hustler model that's the best fit for them, and that because we support all the products we sell, we take the hassle out of future needed parts and service. They like Hustler because of the highest quality and warranty, and that we partner with Hustler to offer 0% interest financing. Now, if you haven't discovered Hustler and CTE yet, now is the perfect time, because this month, when you mention this ad, we'll pay the sales tax when you purchase any new riding mower. Folks, can you get all that anywhere else? CTE Outdoor Power, I-85 at Perry Hill Road, and CTEOutdoorPower.com.
At Guardian Credit Union, we believe that banking should be personal, just like the relationships we build with members. Imagine a place where you're not just a credit score, but a valued part of our community. At Guardian, our dedicated team takes the time to listen, understand, and tailor financial solutions that fit your unique needs. From buying a car to saving for college and even starting a small business, we've got you covered. Come experience the Guardian difference and let's achieve your financial goals together. Guardian Credit Union, where you belong. Federally insured by NCUA.
If it concerns your community, you'll hear about it on News Talk 93.1. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. I'm Joey, Eddie Bader in the studio, as is Craig Monger. Craig is the one wearing the Javier Milei shirt.
Oh, I like that.
Afuera! Afuera! I like that. Man, we need that energy in this country, I think.
I have a Bukele shirt, too. I'll have to wear that sometime.
Okay.
It just says Libertad.
Let's go to Portia. Hey, Portia.
Hey, what's up, Joey? Hey, Eddie. How y'all doing?
Good. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. So I was listening, and I think y'all just played James.
James Carville
on MSNBC.
Yeah.
And I kind of understand what he's trying to say a little bit more, because other people, we've been talking about amongst ourselves, is watching what's going to happen. Like, they're not, to me, I was really shocked to see that the Obamas had endorsed her because they were looking to go into an open convention, which kind of was like a red flag a little bit to me, because I'm like, okay, so are they going to try to do like a House of Cards style coup or something? Listening to knowing who's involved. And then I started thinking, like, who's going to be the vice president nominee if she is selected as the Democratic nominee? And it's just a lot of things. It's like something else is about to happen. And I kind of think that that's what he was trying to get at in a way, because the only thing that they're throwing at her right now is her affair with Willie Brown, the former mayor of San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
That keeps coming up over and over again, and a record that some people say isn't or isn't true. The online research that I have done, unless you guys got some things that you can share, that I have seen, it's back and forth. It depends on who wrote the article and for what angle they're trying to get you to believe. So, that's up in the air. So that's the only two things that they keep throwing at her back and forth. Nothing that I can see is going to stick, which makes me think that they are digging or trying to come up with their own talking points to be able to come at her with, because right now I haven't heard anything other than about her sex life. And I think that that's important to say on a lot of levels, simply because of the fact that's the same thing they do with Trump, with his situation, with his case and things of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
I want to hear real conversation.
Right.
And that's not what we've been hearing from either side of the aisle. In the last debate, they were so busy trying to throw and get one-liners in that you never heard either side actual plan for this nation, actual plan under this climate and inflation and the high gas price and the high grocery. And then everybody's blaming each other, but decisions have been made behind the scenes from both parties that got us in these situations that we're in now. And so those are the level of conversations that I'm looking to hear, and I doubt if we get it in this election, but it's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen coming ahead. So I just want to comment on James, because I saw that, and I'm glad you guys brought it up, which was interesting on this show. I'm glad you guys brought that up, and I think that is a conversation to have, is what does the American people want? Do you just want the pony and clown show to continue in the mudslinging and the funny memes, which are funny, but do you really want real conversation about where we're going with this country?
I want both.
You can't have it all, Joey. You can't have it all.
I want serious highbrow conversations, and I want stupid memes. I want Hulk Hogan.
See, this is the problem, Portia. This is the problem.
Well, I appreciate the call. Maybe the call of the week. Great call. Appreciate it, Portia.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, she laid it out. And I think that's absolutely right. I think we probably deserve an actual conversation about how are you going to deal with the debt? How are you going to deal with these wars? How are you going to deal with inflation and high gas prices? I think that is probably what most people actually care about. But that's why we started with the brainwashing thing.
Yeah.
This is election season, and every time a lot of folks tend to lose their wits in rooting for their team.
I think most people are content with the correlative aspect of it. They remember, hey, things were like X when Trump was here, and they were like Y when Biden was here. I don't care how he does it. All I know is that things were better under Trump, which is an objective truth, by the way.
Except for that COVID year, man.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, but Trump, and I think Bill O'Reilly, I can't believe I'm claiming him as saying something poignant. But he, when he went on, what's his show, Jon Stewart's show, and they were talking about this, he made a great point. He was like, Trump had 2 years post COVID too. So all these things that Biden likes to blame on the post-pandemic aspect, well, Trump had them too, and still inflation wasn't as bad as it is. Housing wasn't as bad. Interest wasn't as bad as it was. Food prices weren't as bad as they are. It's just objectively true, which is why I understand the support for Donald Trump. But it's not like we've been given a poignant reasoning as to how it's going to get better.
Well, like you said, I think just people have faith in Trump that if nothing else, we can get a hold of inflation.
Yeah,
that's I mean, gas. Just simple things, gas prices.
Dude, I can't afford. I can barely afford my chicken and rice. I have a very, very simple diet, and everything's just getting so expensive.
Lunch used to be $6. Now lunch is $10. Whatever fast food place you go, it's $10-12.
And maybe for you, bro, it's like 30 for me.
He's a hungry boy.
I am a hungry hippo.
Got to hit this top of the hour break. But first, this part of the program brought to you by River Region Contracting. And there at River Region Contracting, Todd Clark and his team are ready to help you with that roof of yours. Now, whether you have an asphalt or a metal roof, you need it inspected on a regular basis for basic preventative maintenance. You know, you could do every 3 years, every 5 years, but Eddie and I have been recommending do it on an annual basis.
Especially here in Alabama, man.
Yeah. Like with the weather and the extremes we have. And here's the beautiful thing. When you work with River Region Contracting, their inspections are always free.
Exactly, Joey.
So it could be they come out for free and just give you peace of mind that your roof's doing quite well. Or it could be they do find an issue. Well, the estimate is also free on how much it's going to fix it.
Every time.
Yeah, accurate too?
Every time.
And they show up on time. They do the job well. You aren't getting any nails saying tires around the job site. And, of course, they're also insurance specialists there at River Region Contracting. So if they find a problem with your roof your insurance might cover, they can walk you through that claims process and make it a swift and easy experience. So check them out today. That number, 356-8635. That's 356-8635. And be sure to tell them that Joey and Eddie, those fellas on the radio, sent you.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusada, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. U.S. stocks are sharply higher as they close out a bumpy week dominated by sharp market-cleaving swings. All three major indexes climbing now more than 1%. Multiple communities in Idaho have been evacuated after lightning strikes sparked fast-moving wildfires. Videos posted to social media include a man fleeing the town of Julietta, as that and other blazes scorched the Pacific Northwest. Authorities say California's largest wildfire is 0% contained now, after destroying 134 structures and threatening 4,200 more. A sheriff says it was started by a man who pushed a burning car into a gully. That man has been arrested. The Dow is up 801 points now, and the NASDAQ adding 265. This is SRN News.
Hi, everyone. If you've been injured in an accident that was not your fault, listen up. We have legal professionals standing by to answer your questions for free. Call now and find out if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth. Call 800-504-8790. I'm here with spokesman John Wolf. So, John, tell everyone listening who should call right now.
Well, Maria, first off, thank you for having me here. It's always nice to answer the listeners' questions. Now, as far as who should call in, anyone who's been injured in an accident and think you deserve compensation, give us a call right now. 800-504-8790. You'll find out if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth.
Thanks, John. You heard it, folks. Take advantage of this opportunity and call now. 800-504-8790.
Advertisement sponsored by Legal Help Center, may not be available in all states.
The Rich Thomas Weather Network, brought to you by Alabama Wholesale Lumber. Alabama Wholesale Lumber, the best quality building materials in the River region for decades. From common builds to special orders and local delivery. Call Alabama Wholesale Lumber.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Well, hi, everybody. Not much change in our weather pattern over the next few days. Maybe the radar not quite as lively, but daily high temperatures with limited sunshine, I would say 88 to 91 each day through at least Sunday. Lows at night will be in the low 70s. Scattered showers and thunderstorms will be random and most numerous in the afternoon and evening hours today and right on through the weekend. Little day-to-day change. Our weather app will keep you on top of the action of where the storms are, where the lightning is, where the storms are going to be, plus notifications for severe weather statements and warnings. Free in the App Store. Just search Rich Thomas Weather. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
John Bobo with Capital Tractor. Have you heard the news? Capital Tractor will soon be moving to a brand new location in Montgomery. With lots of Kubota inventory, we're going to sell it instead of move it. Our big moving sale is a great time to get a great deal on a Kubota at Capital Tractor in Montgomery.
From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, here's today's top stories. Montgomery police have launched a homicide investigation after a teenager was shot and killed. Two 16-year-old boys showed up at a local hospital with gunshot wounds on Wednesday. One of the teenagers later died. Police determined that the shooting happened in the area of Hilldale Drive near West Fairview Avenue. According to Montgomery Mayor Stephen Reed, the city is in its best financial shape in years. Reed went on to say the budget is in a great place and the city's reserves haven't been this good in almost 25 years. Mayor Reed said he has some great news coming to the west side soon, but he can't reveal what it is just yet. An arrest has been made in the June shooting death of a 26-year-old man in Alexander City. 27-year-old Keontae Bealey was arrested in Michigan and extradited back to Alabama on Thursday. Bealey is charged in the death of Shavarian Williams, who was shot and killed at a Freaknik party on June 23rd. From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, I'm Sky Mosley.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the Afternoon, or as we're calling this thing online, Joey Clark Live. And as promised, welcoming back to the show, we have Arthur Herman. Of course, he is a fellow there at the Hudson Institute, working at their Quantum Alliance, but also a very best-selling historian. How many books is it now, Arthur? 10 books that you have out? Wow.
We're 10 and working on 11.
Yeah, after we last talked in the last hour, we were going through. Craig here, sitting in the studio, has read a few as well. So, from what did you bring up, Craig? The Scots Invented the Modern World is fantastic.
Yeah.
And of course, the Pulitzer finalists, folks, Churchill and Gandhi. Slow down, Joey. So, you recently penned a op-ed laying out what might be the foreign policy of the Trump administration, a second Trump administration. So let's give the broad strokes here to folks, what that might be.
Well, I think one of the things that I stressed in that article was that we had a preview of what a foreign policy in the Trump second term would look like from the Trump first term, just as I think we now have a pretty good preview of what the foreign policy of a Harris administration will look like based on the foreign policy of the Biden administration. And I think that the contrast between those two approaches to foreign policy is not going to couldn't be more stark than it will be leading up to this election, where you had, in the case of Biden, and then I think what we would look forward to in the case of Harris would be more weakness on the international stage, more confusion about what our real priorities and what our real national interest in foreign policy should look like. We would see more advance by what I call the new axis, Russia, China, and Iran, feeling more confident and bolder about their initiatives to dominate their regions, and in China's case, really to dominate the world. And we would also see a foreign policy which is one that more increasingly our allies will understand that the United States is not going to be there for them, and that their approach would be to sort of ease away from their ties and connections with the United States and to build stronger ties with China, with Russia, and that to look for ways as a means of which to create a more stable environment for themselves in which to operate here. And in the Trump case, so what we've seen is, and what we saw with Trump in the first term, and I think in the second term, is that whatever it is that that Biden-Harris administration did, you're going to see the Trump moving in the opposite direction. That you're going to see a much tougher line with regard to China, for example. Instead of talking about China in terms of we need to enhance cooperation with them, we need to work with China on issues such as climate change. Instead, what you're going to see is a much stronger pushback on China's ambitions in East Asia, places like the South China Sea, and in the First Island chain. A pushback on China's attempts to steal our intellectual property. A pushback on American companies and Wall Street financing Chinese companies and the growth of China's economy at the expense of ours. And I think you'll also see a pushback on China with regard to its military ambitions and a much stronger U.S. military countermeasures to build our deterrence and to convince China that that's not the direction to go. Likewise, Joey, I think the other thing you're going to see is a similar push and even more of a 180-degree shift with regard to Iran.
So with Iran, the full maximum pressure campaign will come back, and as well as trying to increase, say, an alliance between the Arab nations and Israel as well.
I think that's been one of the biggest failings that the Biden administration has had, is that for reasons which are best known to themselves, they follow the same path that the Obama administration did, of somehow convincing themselves that Iran, a strong radical Islamic republic, can be an anchor of stability in the Middle East, when we know it's just the opposite. That Iran has proven itself to be the single most disruptive influence in the Middle East, and of waging war through its proxies, Hamas and Hezbollah and the Houthi rebels, waging war not just against its neighbors, not just Israel either, but also Saudi Arabia. Don't forget that the Houthi rebels have been fighting an ongoing war with the Saudis for control of the Arabian Peninsula, but that they're also waging that same war against the United States as well, and that we are also in the crosshairs for Iran's proxies, with the Houthis firing missiles at our ships and Hezbollah firing missiles into our bases. All of that is going to see a big shift, first in dealing with Iran, and as you just pointed out correctly, Joey, reapplying maximum pressure so that Iran and its efforts to fund terrorism in the Middle East and around the world are starved of cash again. But also you'll see a much more aggressive approach to dealing with Iran's proxies and of restoring a order in places like the Red Sea, in the Suez Canal. The very fact that the Houthi rebels, this little band of bandits, were able to shut down traffic through the Suez Canal, one of the major waterways for international trade, shut that down for weeks while we sat on the sidelines and twiddled our thumbs, is just a sign of how weak this administration has been, and just exactly the kind of the kind of scenario that a second Trump administration is going to be geared to prevent and to deter.
Again, folks, talking to Arthur Herman, how much do you think the actual man himself, or in this case, potentially woman, makes a difference? Because I know it is a team effort engaging foreign policy around the world, but how much does, say, Trump's personality and his style make a difference to, say, how deterrence is built up and how other nations around the world see the United States?
Well, that's a really good question, and I think it's decisive in Trump's case. And part of the reason is that he is such an outsider from the usual foreign policy and Washington establishment, in the way in which, let's say, for example, George W. Bush was not. I mean, there was many aspects of Bush's foreign policy one had to admire, and his immediate and forthright response to 9/11 was part of, was proof of that. But at the same time, I mean, Bush's advisors, the key figures around him, were people who had worked for previous Republican administrations, who were hardwired into the conservative Washington establishment as opposed to the liberal Washington establishment and the Republican Party. Trump is his own man. He came in 2017 with no sense of obligation to anyone in the Washington establishment, and when they tried to confine him and rein him in and make him more compliant with the wishes of that establishment, things blew up. That's how he blew through one national security advisor after another, and also cabinet secretaries as well, because no, he was going to do it his own way. He was going to follow his own path, and he finally got a team in the last year and a half, 2 years. He finally got a team that was able to respond to that. People like Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, and my boss, when I was working at the National Security Council, Robert O'Brien, and who understood that their job was to make sure that what Trump saw and wanted in the foreign policy arena was not only a correct and clear-eyed reading of how the world worked and who our real adversaries were and what our priorities needed to be, but that also their job was to make sure that what the president's wishes and what the American voters who had put him in power to do needed to be followed through. So I'm going to mention two qualities that I think make Trump as a person of value in the foreign policy arena. The first is, precisely because he's an outsider, he's unpredictable. And I think that keeps our enemies and sometimes our friends on their toes. It's not really clear to them how Trump is going to respond in the case of, let's say, a military threat. For the people in Tehran, for the mullahs in Tehran, they got to read pretty quickly on what the Biden team are going to do in the face of any kind of provocation that they carried out through their proxies. And so it became predictable. They're not going to do a thing. They're not going to stand up to us at all. And they proceeded in that direction. In the case of Trump, they don't really know. He might blow up, key figures in the government, like he did with Soleimani, the head of the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps, or he may offer a trade deal. He's not someone whose moves can be read in a clear, predictable light by friend or foe. That's what makes him an interesting person, problematic person to deal with. The second one I'll mention, Joey, real quick, is that he is, after all, the author of a book called The Art of the Deal. And I think that whether you're an ally or whether you're an opponent of Trump's, that whatever position he's going to take, wherever he goes and sits down and so on, that there is the possibility for a deal that works to everybody's benefit, whether you're talking about imposing tariffs, whether you're threatening military action, or threatening not to carry out military action, as in his recent remarks with regard to defending Taiwan. That in every position that Trump takes, every public statement and involvement is the opening of a potential negotiation. And that gives him a kind of, I think, a kind of power when it comes to sitting down with foreign leaders that we've not really seen with any president, perhaps since Franklin Roosevelt, who was, of course, the consummate deal maker and constantly maneuvering to find ways in which to work these kinds of deals out. Trump's very different, and that could make him maddening to work for, Joey, but it can also be a tremendous asset in a world which moves as quickly and is so uncertain as ours is today.
Yeah, give us, we're talking to Arthur Herman, and one kind of big final question, I'll let you go, because I'm seeing here in your column the 6 key principle, rebuilding America's military, and especially if you combine that with decoupling from China and onshoring more crucial industries that might be good for the national defense. One thing I get concerned about when talking about the, say, defense industrial base, or as my old libertarian friends would call it, the military industrial complex, is that it would... Sometimes I worry it is much more of a political play and a jobs program for congressmen and senators to go back to their home district and go, ooh, look how much I've brought back for you. And because of that dynamic, we don't get actually the best, latest types of weapons that we need. And then a second part to that is the latest cutting edge tech in war going to move away from these big things like, say, aircraft carriers on the ocean and move more towards, say, autonomous, nimble ways of going about it, especially seeing that now the Houthis can threaten big assets, even that little band of bandits, as you called them. So first is kind of, I hope, does our acquisition system get caught up too much politics, and are we actually building the latest tech for war that is going to be effective?
Boy, you've just put your finger on a really big issue. We'll have to come back and talk about it at some point, because it's something that I've been working on basically since I wrote that book, Freedom's Forge, 12 years ago. And it's one that I've been working on very intensively in the last couple of years, both with the Congressional Commission, but also on my own research and work that I've been doing, is how do we fix the way in which Pentagon acquires and pays for the weapon systems? How do we know that we're getting the best systems at the lowest possible cost? And also, and this is the other part of your question, is how do we know that we're going to be able to keep up with the next generation of weapons and technology that are going to really be decisive in any future war or in deterring any kind of future war? That is where we need to have some major rethinking and rethinking about not just our defense industrial base, but also about what weapon systems are going to be the ones that are dominant in the future. And I think the 3 key words I would use for what it is that's going to dominate and give us the decisive edge again as the world's number one military is weapons which are faster, cheaper, and more of them. And that includes things such as drones. That includes unmanned undersea vehicles. That includes hypersonic, faster than the speed of sound, missiles and kill vehicles. That includes directed energy weapons, lasers and microwave. And right now we have a DoD budget which is so top heavy with the major acquisition programs, with billions, tens of billions, hundreds of billions of dollars pouring into those kinds of legacy systems, and a few, $100 million here, $500 million there for the weapon systems, which really are going to dominate the future and dominate what happens next. And if there is a second Trump administration, and if there is a Secretary of Defense who wants to call me in and let's talk about where the future needs to be, the exact points that you just raised, and the concerns that I think every American should have about, if we've got an $880 billion defense budget, what are we really buying with that amount of money? Those are precisely the kinds of questions that DoD needs to give a confident and straightforward and positive answer to. instead of saying, we're going to appoint a commission and get back to you about that.
Amen. And, I feel much safer asking that question here in Montgomery, Alabama. If we're doing this conversation in Huntsville, Alabama, I have to be looking over my shoulder. I don't want to upset somebody's gravy train.
No, you don't. Be careful out there.
Well, Arthur,
careful out there.
I always appreciate your time. If folks do want to check out what you're writing about, thinking about, what you're putting out there, how can they do so?
Well, one of the ways that you can do is you can go to the Hudson Institute. And you can go to, and among the list of experts, I'm one of the experts there. And my recent writings on advanced technology, on defense industrial base, on American foreign policy, they're all there and available to have a look at. You should check out my most recent piece published this summer on China and its artificial intelligence strategy. That's one that'll keep you awake at night. But I think it's one that Americans really need to read and really understand just what it is the Chinese are doing in the artificial intelligence area and what we need to do in order to offset and to catch up.
Well, I really appreciate it, like I said, and we'll talk again soon, sooner rather than later. Thank you, Arthur.
You bet, Joey. Cheers.
Again, Arthur Herman, always appreciate that conversation, and I think it's apparent why. That he is, he's in the game, I'll put it that way. He's in the game.
He is.
And no, that was my instinct with, especially the weapons. Like, you see what these wars have become. He mentioned the Houthis can shut down that whole shipping lane, and they're not a sophisticated military. And you're making one of the most sophisticated, naval vessels ever created by man stand back and and worry a little more. And you look at what the Ukrainians did with the drones. Now the Russians have copied and are pushing back with their own drone warfare. And in particular, the Russians have been using hypersonic missiles. So, I look forward to further conversations with Arthur Herman. I found, though, his point about Trump's personality fascinating. Sort of confirmed, I think the average man's sense of how the madman that is Trump. You really don't know what that guy's going to do. And as I've heard it from others than Arthur Herman, saying that if you work in the bureaucracy, especially if you have decades of experience, say in the State Department, that is like turning around a massive battleship. If the guy at the top of it goes, nope, we're going in a different direction. They're like, we've been laying out plans for 10 years. What are you doing? But I think you need more of that. You need that outsider to sort of smash the groupthink that is Washington, D.C. And if that's Trump or somebody else, I'm here for it.
Yeah. And funnily enough, those guys end up getting shot.
Yeah.
Isn't it interesting?
Yeah, it is interesting. Yeah, that is. Yeah.
Yeah.
272-9228. If you want to hop in on the conversation, this part of the program brought to you by Clearwater's Property Management. And there at Clearwater's, Reed Waters and his team are ready to help you with tree removal. Just get those trees off that property, especially if it looks like they're getting a little old.
Yeah.
You want to get that done before it actually, falls on your house.
We had those storms here in Alabama. They pop up. So if you got one that's leaning, you might want to make the call today.
And for me, it's like this happened at my neighbor's house right next door to me while I was living in Forest Hills. I saw a 80-foot oak tree fall out from the roots, crash into their root. I watched it happen, going, this is, okay, I never want that to happen to me. So you need to get prepared. But of course, it could be something short of a massive tree removal. It could be pruning or trimming. So maybe there's overhang from branches. It could be branches are slapping up against the side of your home, which that can cause a lot of damage over time, right?
Certainly. And that's the way that insects get in your house as well.
It could be you're having you want a better visual, like your line of sight's being blocked or the driveway's being blocked in some way. They can help you with trimming those trees. And of course, they also do stump grinding to remove that stump out of especially if it's in the front yard. What an eyesore. And it attracts little critters like termites and snakes and whatnot. So call up Reed Waters and Clearwater's Property Management today. That number, 430-0376. That's 430-0376. And be sure to tell them that Joey and Eddie, those fellows on the radio, sent you.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings, 6 till 9, and afternoons, 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
Don't you love the feeling of coming home to a clean house? Let Southern Bell's Cleaning Service get your home in order. Families in the River region trust Southern Bell's because they know Callan and Jesse will show up on time and believe in cleaning the old-fashioned way. They bring all their own supplies and specialize in full-service, residential, commercial, vacant properties, and construction cleanup. Estimates are always free. Call Southern Bells today at 546-0715 or follow them on Facebook at Southern Bells Cleaning River Region.
Hi, this is Bo Goodson from the Goodson Group and an update on the real estate market in the River Region. Sales of homes for the last 5 months will top 1,900 homes. Even though sales are slightly lower, the average sales price is still climbing. First-home homebuyers comprise over 34% of all sales, with no slowdown in sight for them. We now have more homes on the market in all price ranges, which gives buyers more choices than they've had in over 2 years. Some helpful suggestions for today's homebuyer would be: 1. Work with a local lender for your loan approval. 2. List 3 must-haves for your new home and seek to find properties to match your needs. 3. Work with an experienced and knowledgeable real estate agent to help you with your search, your showings, and receive advice on offers and negotiations. 4. Always use a licensed recommended home inspector when you find the home you choose. For all the details, call Bo Goodson at the Goodson Group at 221-2883 or 551-0225.
This isn't just another sale. It's the Toyota Big Win Sales event at Toyota of Montgomery, with big deals on our big Toyota inventory. This month only, get big savings on the fuel-efficient new 2024 Toyota Corolla LE, just $199 a month. The oh-so-stylish and reliable new 2025 Camry LE, only $298 a month. Need more space? Need more versatility? Drive the new 2024 RAV4 LE for only $298 a month. No matter what Toyota you decide on, now's the time to save big. Even the 2025 models are here with big savings. That's why at Toyota of Montgomery, everybody wins. These big offers are here for just a small amount of time. Visit us today at Toyota of Montgomery. Online at toyotamontgomery.com. Part of the Sutherland Automotive Group.
Corolla LETSRP 24,183. Camry LETSRP 30,842. RAV 4 liters ETSRP 31,173. 12K miles per year for 36-month lease with 3,980, 3,850, and 4,452 at signing. Zero security deposit with approved credit plus tax, tag, title, and $995 fee. Offer ends 7/31/2024.
Are you tired of the mainstream media's biased reporting? Do you want to stay informed on the news that really matters to you? Look no further than 1819 News. At 1819 News, we bring you the latest in Alabama news, politics, sports, culture, and more. We've assembled a team of journalists with Alabama values dedicated to the truth and the truth alone. Visit us at 1819news.com today. That's 1819news.com. Subscribe to our newsletter. Honest News, Alabama Values.
The Health and Wealth Show. The Health and Wealth Show. The show so nice, we said it twice. Weekday evenings at 6 on News Talk 93.1 WACV. The Health.
Wake it up, son. Joke's over, hey?
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
Rich Thomas weather brought to you by Wiley Sanders Truck Lines. Truckers, if you are looking for green grass, contact Wiley Sanders Truck Lines. In business since 1959 and still growing. Call today, 855-777-9785.
Well, hi, everybody. Be flexible with your evening plans. Scattered showers and thunderstorms will be hit or miss, but will be around well into the evening hours tonight before they fade out. Overnight low 72. Tomorrow and Sunday, the forecast doesn't change much. High temperatures in the upper 80s to lower 90s, lots of humidity, and a generous supply of scattered showers and thunderstorms, most numerous in the afternoon and evening hours, but they will be random. Our weather app will keep you on top of where the storms are, where they're going to be, and where the lightning is as well. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
For the lowest prices around on flooring and DIY flooring installation supplies, Budget Floors and More is your new best friend. Luxury vinyl plank, carpet, ceramic tile, floor installation supplies, and more with prices lower than the big box stores. Budget Floors and More, Hunter Lane across from Del Rey Publix.
News and talk without the static. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. 272-9228 if you want to get in on the conversation. Really do appreciate Arthur Herman being on the show. We need to keep doing guests like that.
What's the matter? I'm not fancy enough for you, Joey?
No, you're a little too fancy sometimes.
I'm so Remember that song?
Yeah, I remember that song.
Was
You already
popular.
know.
Yeah, it was popular for like 5 minutes. Now nobody gives a hoot.
Did you see Weezy, Lil Wayne, like end up he just put down a verse on somebody's track. It was going on Twitter like crazy yesterday. And dadgum, it took me back to that summer when the Carter 3 dropped.
He is the most underrated lyricist in hip hop, in my most humble opinion.
Yeah, it took me. I was working Parks and Rec here in Montgomery, and a milli. What a fun summer. That was an interesting gig I had. I'd work Parks and Rec during the morning. Some days were tough. Some days we barely worked, and then I would work the Biscuits box office at night.
Real G's moving silent like lasagna.
Wow. Go, Craig, go.
It's a great, that is a brilliant line.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, there's a few other ones that I'm thinking of that I can't say on the radio.
By the way, every time I hear it, the song Mrs. Officer just makes me laugh. Like, number one, the music in it's just fantastic. But the lyrics and the puns and stuff, it just makes me laugh every time.
Yeah, his wordplay is just incredibly underrated.
So that took me back. Apparently, also from the hip-hop world, Snoop carrying the Olympic torch there right at the very end.
I'm so sick of Snoop Dogg.
What? How can you be sick of the Snoop?
I'm going to call Martha
Because
Stewart
it's like 1 second.
light a blunt
Yeah,
with the
it's like 1 second he's crip walking in the Super Bowl, and the next he's making cobbler with Martha Stewart. It's like pick
Dude,
one.
he's a player.
Pick one. No, you can't crip walk on Saturday and then make animal balloons with the elderly on a Sunday. You can't do it.
Watch him do
He
it.
might have done more than that with her. They had a little thing going there for a little bit.
I mean, he goes on bike rides with like infirmed, disabled children, and then he goes and hangs out and smokes weed in Compton. It's like pick an identity.
Sounds like Snoop.
No, he's a man who.
And then he shills for like Sprite and grill brands. It's just like what are we doing?
Well, just
what are we doing?
to quote Whitman, he contains multitudes.
It doesn't contain multitudes. It's
Oh yeah.
It's like put down the guns, people. Meanwhile, I'm going to do a sea walk on the biggest stage in sports with a fat 50 Cent doing sit-ups under me. Here, do you see my blue bandana? We get it. You're affiliated. Shut up.
So anyway, also in the news today, that's great. RFK Jr. The news hit that he's going to drop out and back Trump. And then he came out and said, no, that's fake news.
Okay.
He is not dropping out.
I didn't think so.
Yeah. It's fake news. Sorry. I'm sorry. I love RFK, but man, it hurts me to listen to him.
It does. I'm telling you, and I've called it from the get-go, if his voice, I hate saying it, but if his voice wasn't the way it was, he would have a lot more, people would take him a lot more serious.
I think it makes you listen. Like you have to pay a little bit more attention.
Right.
But it's not that I want to ask him. I was supposed to be at a press conference with him a few months back, but they ended up not doing it. I wanted to ask him personally, just be like, does that physically hurt you when you talk? It's like
Looks like it does.
No, he said it doesn't.
Has he said that before?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, he's talked about it. It doesn't
very
hurt.
uncomfortable.
It's like, have you ever heard Steve-O talk? It's the same thing. I'm
yeah.
like, my lord, that feels uncomfortable to listen to.
Yeah, no, he had no voice for the longest time. This procedure he did, he was actually awake while they're doing it because they were moving. It's like a metal bridge, and the bridge's vocal cords, so they're moving in different spots, going, talk now. Okay, do you like that one? And they found the best one. Then he's been doing other procedures where he does sound a lot better than he did even 2 years ago.
Certainly.
I would tell him, move it. And just give me like a Darth Vader respirator,
Or a Bane.
Yeah, just.
Yeah.
It's Dick Sanders' dad.
Well, here's RFK Jr. talking about the whole Kamala Harris rise.
I would say
I think, Kamala Harris is the party of war. She's a war hawk. The Democratic Party was always the peace party. Kamala Harris is a war hawk on Ukraine. She's a war hawk on China. I think that we should be figuring out ways to coexist with the rest of the world as best we can. Of course, we need to protect our national security. I think she's not going to do anything about the national deficit. I've never heard her speak about the chronic disease epidemic, I think she's a product of the corporate control of our democracy. and she's one of the authors of, in terms of civil rights, she has one of the worst civil rights record of any public official. She's the author of one of the primary authors of the school to prison pipeline. She kept 5,000 people, despite a Supreme Court order that she released 5,000 prisoners of nonviolent drug crimes who were illegally in California jails. She kept them in there, saying that we needed them for firefighting and for other public work services. And that's just a modern version of indentured servitude, a modern version of slavery. She was one of the two leading public officials in California, which now has the worst education system, 49th in education outcomes in the country. 50% of the homeless people in our country are in California, and she was behind those policies. I don't think she has a good, I don't think, in terms of the traditional democratic principles, I don't think she has a credible record.
Yeah, I don't think he likes her.
Damn it, Damn it, I love the cut of this guy's jib. I am telling you, I wish he didn't suck so much on guns and abortion. I would, oh man alive.
Well, and also he does come across just a likable guy to me.
But he does.
Like I would love to hang out with that guy.
I would adore, I want to take him to the gym. Can we go work out? He's
Right.
jacked. He's 70 years old and jacked.
Yeah.
But it's like he's doing what politicians are supposed to do, talk about the problems. And God bless Donald Trump, but he gets up there and it's mostly bluster. And then if it's Biden or Harris, it's just lies. It's just falsehood. I mean, Trump does too. But he has a command of the facts that is unparalleled in politics, and he's not gonna come close to the votes of Donald Trump or Kamala Harris, and he's more qualified than all of them. Well, this is our political landscape.
Not as popular.
Well, and he's not hooked into the brainwashing machine.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but he's a brilliant,
Agreed,
he's
100%.
sincerely brilliant.
Well, and you better believe Trump's trying to make some deal to give him like authority over a certain department.
If he gives him a cabinet position, I will kiss Donald Trump square on the lips next time I see him.
Let's go to line one. You're on there. Who's this?
It's Jim.
Hey, Jim.
Yeah, I got a question for all three of you. Would you buy a used car from Christopher Wray?
No.
But real quick, Jim, somebody just texted me about RFK Jr. He's done more drugs than Craig.
That's true. Dude, we could reminisce. He's probably done more heroin than I have. But as far as drugs, like in quantity, I would love to. Let's count the receipts.
Let's figure this out.
You should have seen me when I got a tax refund. Shoo, buddy.
But the point is, no, we would not trust Christopher Wray with anything.
I mean, he flippantly throws out the other day, we're not sure if it was a bullet or shrapnel.
Yep.
Okay, where's the shrapnel? Where did the shrapnel come from?
Corey Contemporary's skull. That's the only thing it could be, couldn't it?
Yeah. Okay. What about the picture of the bullet, the vapor trail from the bullet that's going by in front of it? Was that like just maybe a fly or something that was flying by? I mean, you know why he said that.
Oh yeah,
because he's a hoe.
He threw that out.
And still in doubt, and because he's part of that inside machine.
Right. And that photo you just mentioned, Jim, it's not just that you see the vapor trail and the bullet. That's the very moment where Trump's going, ow, like he's grabbing his ear. So it seems like that's what hit him.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, and so, you know, it's just frustrating. I think that we've got these different law enforcement agencies of government, and we can't believe any of them. So why are we even going through this investigation thing? Because, you know, they're all just CYA. They're all going to do it.
Yeah.
You know, the Secret Service, the FBI. Who's going to believe any of those guys? And I'm not a conspiracy nut. I'm just saying I can't. Why should I believe them?
Right. I think the trust is lost, and they haven't done much of anything to earn back that trust.
Right.
The opposite.
And it's just, I don't know what you're going to do, but
get an independent firm to run an investigation. That's the only thing you can do to instill any sort of trust. But they're not going to do that because they like to police themselves, as every other law enforcement agency does.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this will just be, you know, they'll come to some gobbledygook explanation, and that'll be it. and the fact that this kid was able to do all this stuff and have all this, it's hard to believe that it just happenstance. You know what I mean? I just can't believe that. I guess I'm not in conspiracies, but there's just no way.
Yeah, can't get into his phone, can't get into his computer. He didn't leave anything. We don't know what his motives are. Didn't post. Meanwhile, they're reading Tucker Carlson's text messages, but we can't get into some fruit's phone a week after he shot the president of the United States. You don't have to be a conspiracy nut to notice that they're full of it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you look at that kid, you go, my gosh. I mean, the kid wasn't a dummy, but there's no way he planned this whole thing.
Yeah, offshore bank accounts when he's 19.
Yeah, who knew Millhouse was Jason Bourne?
He's got 3 freaking offshore. I don't even know how to. I'm a fairly intelligent person. I have 0 clue how to start an offshore bank account, and he had 3. Give me a break.
Right? It's just.
Yeah. I got enough trouble with my Wells Fargo test.
Well, I appreciate the call, Jim.
All right, y'all have a good weekend.
You too, Jim. See you, bro.
Infuriating.
Let's go to line 3. You're on there. Who's this?
Papa B.
Hey, Papa B.
Hi, guys. So, yeah, you're right about RFK Jr. Boys. He should have gone down to, more on the Darth Vader scale. I mean, right now it's like a cross between Audrey Hepburn and Jimmy Stewart. And
in the latter days of Hepburn.
Yeah. And, it's painful. It's painful to hear, listen to it like that. But anyway, and he is to the left of Bernie Sanders. So, I don't think I could vote for him under any condition. But, cabinet position, Secretary of the Interior, maybe, I don't know. But whatever he is, he's definitely going to be, on the left side of the scale. Too much so for my comfort. But yeah, the Chris Wray thing, you got to watch these folks every thinking move. I mean, any way that they can shade the truth or, somehow do some kind of shuck and jive to, I don't know, get it to another subject, change the subject somehow, they will do it. And it's disgusting. I don't understand why in the world. Why would he even bring it up, Joey? Why would he even bring such a thing to the table in a congressional hearing?
To obscure what's going on, to create doubt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just to somehow create doubt, somehow, right, as I said, shade the truth. Why? There's only one reason, and that is so that, the story will lose its steam or somehow become irrelevant or not as relevant. And was this? And again, that's a disgusting thing to have to watch. But anyway, I will say this. Also, if you talk long enough, you're going to say something that you kind of regret. And I said something yesterday I sort of regret. And I'd like to offer a mea culpa. I described the blame shifting up in Washington, D.C. by the Alphabet Soup Company as a circle jerk. Happens to be true, but it's also vulgar. So my apologies to you and your listeners.
It's all right, man.
I'll see if I can find a more appropriate way. I mean, the sentiment is the same for me. It's, again, something just awful to have to watch. But, I probably could have said it in a better way.
Their existence is vulgar, but so don't beat yourself up too bad.
And unfortunately, I'm now thinking of worst ways to say that, and I'm not going to.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, trust me, there's not enough. The English language does not contain the capability of vulgarity sufficiently to express the contempt that you should have for these people.
There you go.
That's right. By the way, Greg, I always view you as like a closet boy George fan. I don't know. Don't ask how. You're probably going to listen to Come a Chameleon on the way home.
I listen to Come a Chameleon once a week, dude.
That's
mine.
Everyone has that feel-good song. Dude, I'm telling you today, my new feel-good song for the week is Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me by John.
wow.
Yeah. Dude, I was blasting that on the way. It's such
Now,
a
do you
good
do the
video.
Elton John version or the George Michael version?
I like
Hey, let me
the
ask
Elton
you-
John version.
Me too. George Michael, all right. So let me ask y'all a question real quick. Are y'all truly scared of, Taylor Swift and Beyonce, or as I call her, Bouncy, endorsing Kamala? Is that something that we should be concerned about?
I know that
I
the
mean-
Swiftie base is a huge, very huge amount of people, but no, I think between them all, I
Yeah.
don't think they have enough brain capacity to find the voting booths.
I just think we shouldn't sleep on the capacity of this system that keeps doing these things right in front of our eyes
Oh,
without
yeah.
any shame.
yeah.
Don't underestimate what they can do when they start mobilizing folks.
Yeah, your fellow man will violate your standards faster than you can lower them. So I have zero expectations for the
Well, you
cognitive
don't vote.
consistency of my fellow man.
Yeah, if you're registered to vote and you don't vote, believe it or not, you're going to vote. And you're going to vote Democrat.
Right.
There's no doubt about it. I don't believe that Taylor, maybe it'll create some sort of a, bounce. If Bouncy and Taylor Swift get out there and endorse Kamala. But in the end, these folks have to still go and buy groceries.
Yep.
They have to buy gas. And even the ones that might not even worry about that, they have to live in the inner city where all the resources are being taken over by our newcomers. as
That's
they
right.
like to present them. So, I don't think it's going to, in the end, be that big a deal. But, who knows? We'll see. All right, guys. Thanks a lot.
Appreciate it, Papa.
Y'all have a
See you,
good
Papa
weekend.
B.
And it's always good to remind everybody, too, that in Alabama, we already know which way the cat's jumping.
Yeah.
Like, it's pretty obvious.
So if you're a
Like-
Democrat, just don't even bother voting in November. just stay home.
But of course, this is going to come down to battleground states. I think Georgia, right next door, is definitely going to be a heated competition.
Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania.
It's gonna be weird now since the assassination. Very weird.
Very weird. Yeah.
Arizona is going to be a fight. Nevada, Wisconsin, Michigan.
Arizona keeps disappointing me though.
Right.
And the thing is, I know so many people live in Arizona, and they don't get it either. They just don't get it.
Yeah. Utah's another weird one because I mean the LDS Church has gone super wonky over the
Yeah.
past couple of years. So they used to be a reliable voting base. Now, especially since COVID, who the heck knows? So there's going to be a lot of weird ones. I still think Utah's probably going to go Trump, but
Yeah.
it's it's all these areas that are sort of flip flopping. Georgia, I think Georgia's going to be the biggest question mark in my mind.
Though he's been pulling very well there, and it will have to get into it. We'll see. People are going to get to work. The propagandists are going to get to work on both sides, and we'll see who has the best brainwashing. So to speak.
I have zero confidence in people's ability to shed their tribalism. I think Georgia might be a problem.
Yeah, I think so. Huh?
Yeah.
Well, we shall see. Hey, this entire hour brought to you by Alabama Home Mortgage. And there at Alabama Home Mortgage, Kim Williams and Madeline Cannon can help you if you're looking to buy a home, especially if you're a first-time home buyer. They can walk you through the process from pre-approval all the way to closing day and every step in between. And, of course, they can also help you with a refinance deal, which is a great way to get debt off your back.
Exactly. Especially credit card debt.
Oh, my goodness.
We're talking 25, 29%.
APR, yeah.
Yeah, no thank you.
And, yeah, so even though mortgage rates have gone up, what are they, 7, 8, 9%, depending on your credit,
Depending on
too?
your credit, but yeah, between 7 and 8.
Yeah, so that's more than rates have been for mortgages in the recent history.
Oh, yeah.
But that's a lot less than 24, 29%
Thank you.
APR on that credit card. Or it could be you're looking to refinance and you don't really have a debt issue. You just want to use that equity you built up in your home. Whether it's to reinvest in yourself, your property, your family, maybe a kid's moving off to a new city. You want to help them out, get them started. They can help you with all of that there at Alabama Home Mortgage. So call them today at 567-4223. That's 567-4223. Or visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. There is a difference in mortgage companies like Kim and Madeline. Prove that to you today. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
If you're new to Medicare, the ins and outs can be complicated. At Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Alabama, our local advisors are here to help answer your questions, and we're here to help you find a Medicare plan that fits your needs. Visit bcbsalmedicare.com or call 1-844-627-5612. Now, Medicare, that's focused on you. Blue Advantage is a PPO with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in Blue Advantage PPO depends on contract renewal.
Celebrate 20 years of biscuits with Saturday Max Fireworks at Riverwalk Stadium. Post-game fireworks will light up the night sky out past left field every home Saturday. Plus, we have special fireworks shows on opening night and the 4th of July. Check out the best fireworks show in Alabama on Saturday nights at Riverwalk Stadium. For tickets and information, visit biscuitsbaseball.com or call the box office at 323-BALL. Butter up!
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
Hi, I'm Ray Bowles from Prattville Carpet. If you're looking for waterproof carpet, hardwood, laminate, vinyl plank, or ceramic tile, call us today for your free measure.
Prattville Carpet is a family-owned flooring store that prides itself on personal service, quality products, and guaranteed installation. From beautiful hardwood floors to luxurious smart strand carpet, Prattville Carpet has you covered. Call, come by, or online at prattvillecarpet.com.
Prattville Carpet, we're more than just carpet.
The River Region's first and only news talk station on FM. Live, local talk. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Hey, Craig.
Can you get a cough, please?
I'm sorry. Typically, you have my mic muted when we first come
Well,
back.
here's an idea. Change the filter. Clean this room a little bit. Maybe we won't cough so
Why
much.
did you become a Jewish grandmother all of a
Because y'all won't
sudden?
change the filter in here.
Oy vey, I'm kvetching like a
Exactly.
Taurus.
Let's go to Billy and then get in touch
Yeah,
with
yeah.
the guy we need. Hey, Billy, how you doing?
Hey, fellas, hope y'all doing well.
Oh yeah.
I think one aspect to this election that I know you were talking about the different states and how we don't know how they're going to vote, but I will tell you this: I think the African American population in this country is finally waking up, and you're going to see a big change when it comes voting day. And the Latino population of this country, they're waking up to see, and that's what's got the Democratic Party shaking in their boots right now.
And I do wonder, I think the biggest divide is men-women in the country politically. And so do you see more, especially younger black men and younger Hispanic men, going Trump's way for all sorts of different reasons?
Oh yes, I was at a meeting not long ago, and 90% of the people there, African Americans, they're voting Trump, straight Republican tickets. So they're fed up. They're tired of being played to and being bought out the past 60 years, and they're waking up and knowing that. A lot of the younger generations are now.
Well, we shall see, Billy, and a lot of it also relies on the rules in some of these battleground states, but that's for those states to get on top of.
Amen to that, brother. Amen to that. But y'all have a good weekend.
You too, sir.
Yeah, I don't share his optimism on that one.
You don't think so?
No.
Folks are
because
going to
we're-
come home?
We're sitting in a in a city that just recently reelected Stephen Reed. So, yeah.
Yeah, but I think that's because the competition was too little too late.
Possibly, but what more did he? But the competition didn't need to do anything. I mean,
I think you do. I think you got to make a compelling argument, and I think it was a Hail Mary campaign.
Yeah, I can agree with that, but I mean, you just.
And I like Barrett a lot, by the way, but it just I didn't see it.
I agree. I like I said before, people think that they're above tribalism, and they're just not.
Nope.
And I think that the seeds of that visceral tribal mindset has been planted in the minds of so many people. Even the right likes to think that they're not, but they are.
Of course they are.
And so I think those roots run real deep, and it's going to be at least another generation or two before that's solved.
Well, let's go to Michael Cohen of Cohen's Electronics and Appliances. Hey, Michael, how you doing today?
Hey, I'm doing great.
How are y'all?
Oh, we're surviving. How you doing, Eddie?
I'm hungry.
You're hungry?
Yeah. Michael and I were talking a little off air. I'm hungry.
I can't believe that they don't feed you there, Eddie.
No, what's so bad, even worse than that, Greg cooks steaks and all this omelets and all this beautiful stuff for his crew, but I can't even get a piece of toast from Joey. Kind of sad.
How about this? I'll buy you a Slim Jim next week.
That'd be something. Be something.
Don't start with me. We have a sponsor on the phone.
And Eddie, you could grill that Slim Jim on that new Traeger grill.
I'd love to be able to do that.
Wait, you just got a Traeger?
That's something else Michael and I've been talking about. Why are you in our business?
Well, because this is now my business. Wait, you're getting a Traeger there from Cohen's?
I just see what he's got, and I go on his website quite often, and I can operate that Traeger grill via the Wi-Fi on my phone, so I could literally put the steak on and just kind of watch from the couch. I like this idea, Joey. I love to grill, but I'm also on the lazy side.
Oh,
Even if you had to show a house down the street, you could do that and still control it.
Right. It's a really good idea.
So if folks want to look at, say, the pellet grills, but in particular the Traegers, you have those there in stock at Cohen's?
Yes, sir, we do.
And many other options as well. I know in terms of the grilling world, you're a fan of the Napoleon, right? So it's, you just turn it on and it fires up. Was it propane that you use?
I use propane, but they also make them in natural gas as well. You kind of, I live out in the country, so natural gas is not an option.
There you go. Well, and I can attest to the Traeger, Eddie. Both my brother and my dad have Traegers that, my dad, when he cooked a brisket, we were sitting on the couch watching a game.
See?
And we could see the temperature and everything.
See, I'm too bad about going out there.
And we smoked some cream cheese. How you just season the cream cheese like you would a piece of meat and just smoke it like meat. And
Really?
Yeah.
It stays pretty formed and all?
Yeah.
Oh, you got to let me in on this.
It's good.
Maybe we will have you up after all.
How do you think I got fat?
Maybe what we need to do is have the grill and have Joey come do a live cooking class.
Okay, now you're talking right up my alley.
Yeah, but I'm wearing clothes.
I could sit in the massage chair while Joey grills.
God help us if you weren't.
Just an apron by itself is considered clothes.
yeah. You don't come with clothes, don't come here.
Just with an open apron like a hospital gown.
Oh, goodness.
One of these homeless people will take you home.
That's right.
Folks on the lake are getting a show. Folks, y'all check out Cohen's Electronics and Appliances today. You can tell it's Friday. You can always go to thinkcohens.com. That's, again, thinkcohens.com. But I really encourage you to stop by their showroom, 2515 Eastern Boulevard here in Montgomery. And, of course, they're open 9 to 6 Monday through Friday, 9 to 4 on Saturdays. And find Michael or one of the team members and say, hey, we heard Michael on the radio with those fellas.
Thank you. Y'all have a great weekend.
You too, Michael. See you, man.
Final hour on a Friday coming up.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusada, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu meeting with Donald Trump at his resort in Palm Beach, Florida. The two men enjoyed close ties when Trump was in the White House, but the former president has criticized Netanyahu for the security failures around the deadly October 7th Hamas attack. What was Typhoon Gami has now weakened to a severe tropical storm and headed towards inland China on Friday after making landfall previous evening on the East Coast. That storm felled trees and damaged crops in China, but there were no immediate reports of casualties or major damage. 5 people had died in Taiwan from Gami. The Dow is ahead 689 points, the Nasdaq adding 174, the S&P up 62. This is SRN News.
Government debt is now exploding by an unprecedented $1 trillion every 90 days. Think of that. It's a clear sign that our nation's finances are spinning out of control, and it's putting the savings of every one of you at risk. Hello, I'm Lance Wallnow, a news analyst and best-selling author and an evangelical leader. I'm deeply concerned about the impact this runaway debt is going to have on Christians like you who have worked hard to build your own nest egg for your family. To protect your financial future in these uncertain times, you need to diversify with something tangible and proven, like physical gold. That's why I recommend a gold IRA. To learn more, text FAITH to the number 989898, and my friends at Birch Gold Group will rush you a free info kit on how to move your IRA or 401k to physical precious metals tax and penalty free. So don't wait. Just text the word FAITH to 989898 to get your free info kit on gold IRAs. Birch Gold Group is the only company I trust. There's no obligation. So text FAITH to 989898, and I pray this information helps you achieve prosperity and peace of mind.
Rich Thomas Weather, brought to you by Clark Heating, Air, and Plumbing. It's time to get your cooling system ready for the long, hot summer. Call today about the advantages of the Clark Club membership to be sure you're covered. Call 277-2125. Better call Clark. Alabama certification number 09098.
Well, hi, everybody. Be flexible with your evening plans. Scattered showers and thunderstorms will be hit or miss, but will be around well into the evening hours tonight before they fade out. Overnight low 72. Tomorrow and Sunday, the forecast doesn't change much. High temperatures in the upper 80s to lower 90s, lots of humidity, and a generous supply of scattered showers and thunderstorms, most numerous in the afternoon and evening hours, but they will be random. Our weather app will keep you on top of where the storms are, where they're going to be, and where the lightning is as well. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
CB&S Bank has a long history of stability and a legacy of serving our community's needs for generations since we began in 1906. At CB&S Bank, we're here for you. All loans subject to credit approval, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
1819 News. At a joint prison oversight public hearing in Montgomery, Families for Justice Reform called for independent oversight of Alabama Department of Corrections facilities. Matthew Charles, a senior policy advisor, advocated for legislation modeled after recent federal oversight laws, highlighting the need for an external ombudsman to investigate complaints from inmates and staff. The hearing included testimonies from families, advocates, and legislators about the violence and extortion in Alabama's prisons. More Alabama news to come after this.
Are you enjoying 1819 News? If so, consider joining 1819 News as a member. As a nonprofit news organization, we depend on the support of Alabamians like you. Memberships start out as little as $5 a month, and you'll get access to exclusive content only offered to our members. You'll be supporting independent journalism done by people who cherish Alabama values. Become a member today by visiting 1819news.com and clicking Become a Member. That's 1819news.com and click Become a Member today.
State Representative John Rogers is due to be sentenced next week on federal charges. The 83-year-old veteran lawmaker is convicted of conspiracy to commit wire fraud and mail fraud and obstruction of justice in a kickback scheme involving youth baseball in Jefferson County. He faces up to 14 months in federal prison. The Birmingham Police Department is wrapping up its back-to-school supply drive. The event started on the 24th of June and wraps up today. Donations can be dropped off at any Birmingham Police Precinct, the Crossplex, or Boutwell Auditorium. The police department saying paper, notebooks, and backpacks are among the things they still need the most. Filling in for the vacationing Andrea Tice, I'm Tim Berg. For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
This summer, let the experts at Clearwaters take care of your tree troubles. Whether it's a hazardous tree looming over your property or simply time for a seasonal trim or damage from a storm, their team is ready to help. With over 10 years of experience serving Montgomery and the surrounding areas, Clearwaters prides themselves on safety, efficiency, and leaving your property cleaner than they found it. Their certified arborists ensure that the job is done right from the start. No job is too big or too small, residential or commercial. Clearwaters handles it all, and they are proud to offer competitive pricing and free estimates. They understand that your trees are an investment in your property's beauty and value. Call Clearwaters Management today at 430-0376 and let them take care of your trees so you can enjoy a safe, more beautiful place. Clearwaters, where expertise meets excellence.
When you have the opportunity to go for gold, take it. The Lexus Golden Opportunity Sales Event is at Lexus of Montgomery. Drive the new IS300, just $396 a month. New Lexus ES350, only $473 a month. At Lexus of Montgomery, everybody wins. Part of the Sutherland Automotive Group.
Number 5130706. 4,999 due at signing. Number U1844206. 5,999 due at signing. 5,000 miles per year. 36 months. Plus tax. Tag title. 995 fee. Offer expires 7/31/24.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's News and Views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. We were just laughing our heads off air about that Andrew Schultz monologue that he did to open Flagrant the other day. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, he went hard.
That was good. That's one of the funniest things I've seen in a long time. And, well, that Tom Brady roast was pretty up there.
Yeah.
Not the whole thing, but there was a lot.
Some really good moments.
I still will go back and watch Tony Hinchcliffe. And, hey, did you see the Kill Tony with the with Adam Ray as Biden and Shane Gillis as Trump?
Oh, yeah. Like right after the assassination.
Yeah. Oh, my goodness. So good. And apparently Jordan Peterson was on Kill Tony.
What?
Yeah. He put out a tweet saying thank you,
them
Tony.
as they came up? Because there's some winners that...
Yeah, and I think he said, thank you for a good time, Tony, you evil bastard.
Yeah. Gave him a lot to think about.
Dude, I got like 10 minutes into his most recent...
With Elon?
No, I watched the Elon one, but when he was on Rogan.
Oh, yeah.
And the first 10 minutes, I was kind of like...
Yeah, I haven't watched that yet. And I was mad at him with the Elon interview. I'm like, shut up, Jordan.
Let him talk, for God's sake. And he's like, in the Christian ecosphere, he does these hand motions like he's doing some Hawaiian fire dance. And it's just, relax, calm down.
So this was the big moment today, the big news today. Barack and Michelle Obama not only endorsed Kamala Harris, they called her, and somebody filmed them calling her.
Oh,
and
cool.
It's on speakerphone, but she still holds it up to her ear. Go ahead, Kamala Harris.
Kamala.
Hello. Hi.
Hey there.
Oh, hi. You're both together. Oh, it's good to hear you both.
I can't have this phone call without saying to my girl Kamala, I am proud of you. This is going to be historic.
We called to say Michelle and I couldn't be prouder to endorse you and to do everything we can to get you through this election and into the Oval Office.
Oh, my goodness. Michelle, Barack, this means so much to me. I am looking forward to doing this with the two of you, Doug and I both, and getting out there, being on the road. But most of all, I just want to tell you the words you have spoken and the friendship that you have given over all these years mean more than I can express. So thank you both. It means so much, and we're gonna have some fun with this too, aren't we?
The Kabuki theater, in her case, Bukkake theater, is just completely. I can't. I just can't anymore.
Right. It's at a point where I'm thinking of like high school, like popularity contests. And also, when you see the internal emails, and this is Republican and Democrat, the DC folks, everybody is so like, Craig, you're the greatest. Like, what you do is just amazing. Like, and you're such a good friend, and like, I look forward to your next piece of work.
Ain't just high school.
And it's, well, right, but you know what I'm talking about.
I know
where
exactly
it's
what you're
constant
talking about.
praise, like, no, you're awesome. No, you're awesome. And then as soon as we're off the official channels, like, oh, they're backstabbing and sharing all the worst dirt on one another. That's how that came across to me. It's
Yeah. The phoniness of it never ceases to amaze me, but it works.
Though also historically, Barack Obama in particular, has been a backer of Kamala Harris. Like, he was trying to, again, she messed this up. She should have already been president. not Joe.
Yeah.
They wanted her to be president.
Yeah,
And she
nobody else did.
crashed and burned.
Yeah.
All right.
Again, if she's the nominee, you will never convince me that she's capable of beating Donald Trump. Never. I don't care if she does. I'm throwing the tinfoil hat on in November if she wins this race, because it is not only that she is irritating and annoying, and she is profoundly unintelligent, profoundly stupid. And I get that most people are as well, but there's no way that you're telling me that a bulletproof billionaire is going to lose to that cackling broad in November.
No,
You're
I was sitting
never
here
gonna convince me.
thinking about, like, what's next? Like, if you do the first, like, woman who's president, the first lady president, and then, by the way, I'm sure the feminists will love that, the first lady president. That's a great term. I'm sure they'll adopt. But first black woman, like first woman of color, like so where do you go if say they get all these things, God forbid, like, what a historic moment. Like, what's the next, like, historic barrier that's going to be broken, and what could be the next identity politics
Trans.
play?
We need a
No, you know that's where it's going.
It could be that, or I think it's going to be they're going to make fat the new black. They're going to be like,
Chris Christie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, somebody is going to run on how portly they are and appeal to the everyday American who's like, well, I'm kind of fat too. I understand that. I breathe heavy when I'm not even moving.
Well, Trump ain't exactly a Slim Jim,
No,
let's
he
be
is not.
honest.
Yeah, but he doesn't play into the whole. Hey, did y'all watch the golf thing with Trump?
Yes,
I've seen
so
many clips.
Actually,
I feel like
thought
I've
it
seen
was.
the whole
I
thing.
was shocked.
He's very good.
Yeah,
he's very good.
They got 22 under. They almost broke the 50.
Wow.
Score. Like, that's the name of that show. Is like, let's break 50, and
But to me,
they
it
were
was just-
one shot away.
He was
from it.
sharp as he could be. He was hysterical.
Oh yeah,
freaking hysterical.
Yeah. And then what's the song you put on there? Time to Say Goodbye. Yes.
Yes.
Like this huge
It's my
orchestral
soundtrack
arrangement.
here. It's my soundtrack.
Anyway, let's go to Duke. Hey, Duke, how you doing?
What? Y'all down there put me to sleep.
Fake.
Oh. What am I gonna do with y'all?
Love us and listen to us.
Man, Craig. What's up, Craig?
Nothing much, baby. What's going on with you?
You know I got to pick on you. I got to pick on you.
Hey, that's what I'm here for.
Mm-hmm. But didn't you enjoy those 3 intelligent black individuals on that phone, sir?
Dude, that was comical. I mean,
In
that was
your
literally
eyes.
comical. They tried to make like it was actually happening. It was one of the most scripted things I've ever seen since Biden's quit speech the other night.
Well, you call it what you will, but they intelligent, though, what I'm saying.
What is any sort of verifiable metric that you would use to show that Kamala Harris is intelligent? Or
Yeah,
Michelle Obama? For that
I'd say
reason.
Barack
We might-
Obama's very intelligent.
I'll give
Give
Barack.
it to Barack
Yeah,
Obama.
I'll give Barack.
But I want to say something right quick. To top it all off, y'all was talking about how everybody doing a little thing. To top it off, she got to go ahead and get the lights like Trump had and get a wrestler to introduce her to come on out. And you know what I'm
Sure.
saying? You got to do the whole thing.
Yeah, do it.
If that's what it takes.
Yeah, I mean, I've watched past DNCs. This is what they do. Like, they wheel out the biggest Hollywood stars, the prettiest people, like the biggest music artists. I mean, this is what they do. This is nothing new for Democrats.
We're in for a treat, though. But the reason I called, though, we had a caller to call in saying that, the black folks just running over to Trump and just jumping in his arms.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me what Trump got to offer all these individuals, all these black folks he's talking about. What he got to offer besides what I've heard so far, but tell me.
A booming economy where
Right.
people can make their own way and build generational wealth.
And inflation,
Give
where
me
don't
something
take
with
3
substance.
jobs
Give me
just to make
something
one
with
grocery
substance, sir.
payment.
Give me something with substance, sir.
Lower grocery prices.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what more you want. Gas prices down to affordable again.
Trump lived off of what Obama did, those individuals that y'all played earlier. He
I
took
don't
credit
know.
for
I
what
think
he
the
did,
numbers
so
would
he
argue
lived off of
different
that.
on that.
Trump went on in there, ran the deficit up himself, many trillions, didn't he? When he got in.
Yeah, but my
Well,
chicken was $1.10 a pound.
And actually, Duke, I think the biggest thing that Trump appeals to especially younger folks and younger men of all races, is he's a big FU to the system. Despite all the practical things that might play out, he's a big FU to prim and proper society that tells you must be a certain way, as James Carville said, and all these preachy females.
So the reason I set that up that way, I want to say what he said so far that hadn't impressed me at all. Okay, since he came on the scene, he said at first that he created jobs for the blacks. You know, I'm gonna read off Trump at DEI people. Okay, he said when he first came on the scene, he created jobs for the blacks. I haven't seen no jobs that he created yet. The high-paying jobs I I'm interested in, people that I know are interested in the good-paying jobs. I haven't seen one of those yet. Number two,
You're not looking,
shot,
man.
Man. We got excited over this mug shot, and we can relate to him as a black person because he got in damn trouble. Okay. Then he came about 3 weeks later and said that the aliens are taking black jobs. See, he said all these things right here, running around there. I forgot about the gold shoes. Digging the damn gold shoes in people's face.
How was that bad? He made some money. The man's a capitalist.
Hey, Duke, you got to admit, though, you have to admit here, Donald Trump is the blackest president we've ever had, right? You have to admit that.
I joke about it all the time.
Multiple babies, mama?
But I joke about it all the time.
He's a felon. He's got multiple baby mamas. He got shot. Like, what more do you
Yeah, but did he play saxophone on Arsenio Hall?
Yeah, he took this bullet. I'm waiting to see the big old damn hole in his ear and Luca burn or something next to his ear. I'm waiting to see those things still, but he took this bullet for you guys. But let me get back on track. Y'all trying to sidetrack me here. All these wonderful things that I've heard so far from him is kind of degrading to black people to me. Those kind of things right there. He don't say anything about, high-tech jobs he want to do for black folks. But, all this old nonsense mess right here that I just read off. And young people may get excited for that because of criminal reasons. They love all this criminal shooting and all this old crap going on. But the real people that I know that really pay attention to politics, they listen to what these individuals are saying on both sides. Okay.
But there's also folks talking amongst themselves who own businesses who remember what it was like running their business, say, during the Trump years as opposed to the current regime. Like, it's not just, somebody said a thing, and, okay, he can't say anything that would ever please me.
Correct.
That's not what I'm saying.
That sounds like it.
No. The things that he's attaching black people too. He said that when he first came on the scene, he shouldn't have said that he created jobs for the black. He's trying to look like we got special jobs and special needs that he got to create something special on the side to us. Hell, they tell me when you come on the scene that you creating jobs for all Americans.
Yeah, but then, Duke, if you say that, then you're not focusing on the community.
There you go.
This is what I mean. It's a Kafka trap. It's damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Okay. Reagan didn't do that. The Bushes didn't do that.
Right, and Reagan and Bush were called all sorts of names.
Remember, Bush was the reason for Katrina.
You know what I'm saying? These people
George Bush.
Yeah, he was the reason Katrina came. He made it. So
let's stay on the subject matter here I'm talking about. I'm talking about these other presidents, these other white presidents in the past did not come out and specify us saying that he created jobs for us and all this mugshot crap and telling people on the TV telling American people that the illegals are taking our jobs, black folks' jobs. See, I never heard the other presidents say these things while in office.
Maybe because that wasn't the case at the time?
Hey, Duke, we've only had white presidents.
I understand that. That's what I'm talking about, though. But I named the ones that I know of that I listened to over the years and been, paying attention to what they've said over the years. They never said these things like this individual are saying to us as black people. Okay.
So the Democrats don't go around talking about what they've done for this black community, the Native American community, the Hispanic community.
That's not what I'm talking about now.
We're not talking about that.
What are we talking about then?
No, I'm talking about damn Trump. That's what we're talking
just
about.
Trump.
Yeah.
To me,
Hey, Duke, is there anything Trump could do to get you to vote for him? Thank you for the call. Have a good weekend, sir. Text me later.
See you, Duke.
272-9228. Let's go to line 3. You're on there. Who's this?
Hi, guys. This is Bill.
Hey, Bill.
Hey, Bill.
So, I would like for Duke to actually produce some of the videos or audios that he's talking about. Because if I recall right, he didn't say he created jobs for blacks. He said he had the lowest black unemployment. And it wasn't just blacks. It was everybody. It was Hispanics, whites, period. But I would also ask Duke that his president ran on hope and change. How'd that work out for him? Did he get any hope? Did he get any change?
Lost hope.
He was a two-termer. We haven't had one of those in two administrations.
That's true. That's true.
So anyway, but I heard a caller earlier, I think her name was Portia maybe, who was saying that she wanted more substance about the president or the candidates. And I find that kind of interesting because if you look at Kamala, she was put in charge of the border. How did that work out?
No, I remember at the time when that was announced. I can remember my reaction is like, oh, they're throwing this on her.
Yeah.
Because they don't want Joe to get the heat about what their actual policies are going to create. I saw it as throwing her under the bus sort of move. And now they're trying to erase that history.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the whole thing for me, and it's not just that she was put in charge of the border. Did she ever say, hey, guys, this isn't working out very well. You put me in charge of the border, and what am I supposed to do with it? I mean, she didn't stand in the background jumping up and down, waving her hands. And then I'm assuming in the last 3.5 years, she has been fairly close to Joe Biden.
Yep.
Did she jump up in the background, waving her hands, going, this ain't working good?
Nope.
This guy don't know what he's doing. So is the lack of character for the responsibility she had positive or negative? Because for me, I kind of see it as a negative. What did she do as a senator? How long was she a senator? Didn't she serve 6-7 years as a senator?
Yeah, I think it was like 2018. It was like more like 2 years.
She's got a political background that can be looked at, and you can kind of see when she was given power, what did she do with it? When she was given a responsibility, did she make good changes or bad changes? And then when you compare Trump, and let me say that I would be the first to say he don't need to be on Twitter.
Oh,
man. I think he's kind of learned some lessons from his previous 4 years.
That's my favorite part of it, though.
But if you look at what he did compared to the past 3.5 years, I think you have to say he's head and shoulders above what's there. Because the economy was much better. Our military, we virtually don't have a military right now. We're relying on drones and things that are now, technology that is now very old.
Right. Well, but Bill, let me ask you, because I'm going to start asking everybody this. You ever voted for a Democrat in your life?
Yes.
Who?
Yes.
Who?
Now, not as president,
Okay.
and not as not at high offices, but I started voting when I was 18 years old. I fell in that category where I could vote and drink at 18.
Nice.
And then a few years after that, they changed it back 21. But I have voted in every election, both local and national, since I was 18 years old.
So you voted for Democrats locally?
Yes, locally I have. If I saw a candidate that was head and shoulders above, I looked at the candidate, not the political office, not at the whether he was a Republican or Democrat.
Right.
I voted for the best person, and I would still do that.
Well, and I'm just bringing this all up not to pick on you, but obviously the majority of people voting in Alabama agree with you and everything you're putting down. But this election is clearly going to be decided by the independents, not by the folks that are kind of already, for usually justified reasons, always going to go with the Republican or the Democrat at the top of the ticket. So we'll see.
Well, I don't really think Kamala Harris will be the final. She will not be the final Democratic candidate. I'll bet you that changes. But if it doesn't, and if there was an independent that ran that was head and shoulders above the Republican and the Democrat, I would not hesitate to vote, because I am conservative more than I am Republican or Democrat.
There you go. Well, I appreciate the call, Bill.
Y'all have a great day.
You too, Bill.
Gonna line one. Hello, you're on there. Who's this? All right. I guess they're busy doing something else.
Sounds like it.
Hey, this part of the program brought to you by Pest Pro Services. And they're at Pest Pro. Ashley and that great team are ready to help you with all your pest control needs.
Yeah, man.
Could be you have a specific job you're thinking of, like termite inspection or treatment or mosquito treatment.
Yep.
Or it could be you're just looking for an everyday pest control company that's local and that you can trust. And that's Pest Pro. They've grown
100%.
leaps and bounds over the last 3-4 years. Really, they grew out of the pandemic.
Oh, yeah.
And it's because of the great work they've done. And the team has expanded, brand new location there on Main Street in Millbrook. And they're ready to help you out. And especially if, they're your everyday company, they get to know you, your home, and they get the job done well. So check them out today. You can always call them at 265-9990. That's 265-9990. Or go to ppsriverregion.com. And, of course, you can always just search Pest Pro Services on the Book of Faces. What do you want to know? Call a pro, Pest Pro Services. And be sure to tell Ashley and that great team that Joey and Eddie, those fellas on the radio, sent you.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
This is your roving reporter, and today I am talking with an elk. Hey man, Mr. Elk, I was just wondering, what do elk do to take care of their money?
Well, like most smart folks, we call David Ernest.
You mean Alabama's most favorite asset preservationist?
That's him, man. We call him up at 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839.
I see.
Yes, he is our preferred money man.
The money man with the money plan.
You've been paying attention.
Well, could you give us those numbers one more time?
334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. And I just want to try to give you a heads up, man.
Oh, what's that?
I'm not an elk.
Not an elk, huh? Well, then, pray tell, what are you?
Knights of Columbus.
I am not even going to make a comment.
Well, the baby liked it.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
Hi, this is Carl Schmidt, naturopath and owner of the Herb Shop. Listen every Saturday to Winning Wellness and learn from experts in different fields of science and technology how nutritional supplements can help you.
Listen to Winning Wellness every Saturday at 10 a.m.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
Rich Thomas Weather, a service of Riverside Chevrolet Wetumpka. If it's Chevy, it's Riverside. Best price, best selection. Check them out on the web at riversideusa.net.
Hi, everybody. Be flexible with your evening plans. Scattered showers and thunderstorms will be hit or miss, but will be around well into the evening hours tonight before they fade out. Overnight low 72. Tomorrow and Sunday, the forecast doesn't change much. High temperatures in the upper 80s to lower 90s, lots of humidity, and a generous supply of scattered showers and thunderstorms, most numerous in the afternoon and evening hours, but they will be random. Our weather app will keep you on top of where the storms are, where they're going to be, and where the lightning is as well. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
For the lowest prices around on flooring and DIY flooring installation supplies, Budget Floors and More is your new best friend. Luxury vinyl plank, carpet, ceramic tile, floor installation supplies, and more with prices lower than the big box stores. Budget Floors and More, Hunter Lane across from Del Rey to Publix.
Live, local talk. The River Region's most trusted voice for news and opinion. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
I love the off-air conversation
Oh,
sometimes, but it shall remain off-air.
I do like sandwiches.
I love me some
Me
sandwiches.
too.
Yeah, sandwiches are great.
Dude, I made some eggplant parm because we had a family friend that she gave my wife. They went over to pick blueberries, and she just gave my wife some eggplants. And my wife had never cooked with eggplants before. I'm like, ooh! And so we have her homemade sourdough breadcrumbs,
which is delicious.
And yes, she was very happy to hear that you liked your sourdough.
Man,
But she makes like she made breadcrumbs out of it, so I made the chicken parm with that. And I had a brilliant idea. I'm going to make a chicken parm and Parma ham sandwich sometime in the near
Ooh,
future.
look at you.
Oh yeah.
Gotta take a picture of that.
Yeah, I will. I might bring
some of us
some
are
in.
into food porn.
If Joey's not going to feed us, I'll come in and give us some food.
I mean, we got a griddle and everything in the break room. What's up?
By the way, some people have poor communal refrigerator manners.
Oh, you looked in the refrigerator
Yeah, I
here?
looked in the refrigerator. I'm going to clean it next time I hear. I swear.
Did y'all say anything I needed to dump? Because even though I was acting like I was not hearing a word. you
No.
said.
No.
I just said y'all's refrigerator is dirty, and I'm going to clean it next time I come in.
Let's go to Eric the dog.
Got a
Hey,
hazmat
Eric.
suit. What up, dog?
How y'all doing?
All right.
Some people just ain't gonna be happy no matter what it is. You just can't please. And sometimes I'm one of those people.
At least you're honest.
Well, I mean, I know that I have biases and prejudices, and I work real hard to try to see the other side. At least hear what they're saying, if I can't understand it. I mean, these people don't feel this way in a vacuum. There's almost something that we're not getting or is not being disseminated, just like we do with the left. When they're saying stuff, but they don't point out this little particular fact, or it's based on this piece of information. We do the same thing, so not intentionally and not always. And I think that's the difference between some of what we do and some of what the left does, is they're intentionally misleading and leaving stuff out to get a narrative. But I feel like sometimes we do that. And there's just a lot of distrust. If you're a politician, and I don't care, you can be the nicest guy that there is, but if you do politics for a living, when it comes to that, there's a level of distrust I have.
Mm-hmm.
Of course.
Yeah.
And and that's not being ugly, and it doesn't mean, you don't go to church on Sunday and you don't love Jesus. But you're not my spiritual leader, and nor that I vote for you because you go to church on Sunday.
Right.
I'm just looking for an honest broker, just somebody who'll go to work,
Good luck.
do what they need to do. Well, yeah. How about we pass a law that they can't pass any laws? How about that? That would be good, except for the budget, because apparently that's a law. But
Well, apparently they got to pass that first law that you want, and they're not going to pass that.
well, yeah, it's like term limits, huh?
There you go.
We're going to hold that against you, but we're not going to change the rules of how the Senate works. So if we abide by the rule, we're just shooting our own partner in the foot. So That's a good plan.
And there's sometimes, you know, I try to see politicians, the person behind the person playing the game. You know, there's somebody there usually.
Yeah.
Not all the time, but usually somebody there. But then I'm also tempted at times when they're like, "What do you want? What do you want?" It's like, I'm quote the purple one. I like it when you dance for me. All right, dance, puppet, dance.
Hey, speaking of that, did you see that picture I sent you with Prince? That Prince mural?
I don't know.
I specifically saw that. I was in Atlanta last weekend, and I'm going to the same spot again this weekend. But I specifically saw that and turned around and went and took a picture for you.
Oh yeah, I'm seeing it. Yeah, I did see that. It's pretty damn good. It's pretty.
Those
awesome.
glasses on that thing are real. Those are real mirrors.
Real mirrors. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All
So
right.
it's like a 3D pop art type thing. But you know, I really enjoy y'all's conversations when Craig's in there. Y'all are, and I like how you do, Joe. You're an honest cynic, and you give people an opportunity. And to your point that you just said, Joe M. Reed, I can't stand 90% of the crap he says, but you did talk to him enough, and his personality did come out, and he was a little candid, you know.
Well, I generally like Joe. Like,
Yeah,
just
Joe's
how
a good
he-
guy. I
how
have
he
a
carries
good
himself.
conversation with him.
Well, yeah, I was hearing what he said, and I just wanted to, like, you know, I had that initial politician reaction where you punch him in the throat.
Well, he's an
Stop lying.
attorney, so
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
well,
that's not
you
the
know-
politician.
yeah,
thing,
it's just the attorney. Yeah.
Oh, my bad. I get
Yeah.
confused because, you know, politician, attorneys, you know, tomato. It seems like we got more politicians than we do statements. We also need to turn that into not a career path, but a civic duty that you don't get rich from doing.
Good luck with that.
We'll make sure you don't lose anything. You know, you're compensated for your time. But you know, I don't make $140,000 a year, and I work pretty damn hard.
You're in the wrong business, my friend.
Well, and just to underline something, because you said it, I am an honest cynic when it comes to politics, but I'm not just genuinely cynical about life too much. You can't be, when I see photos of my little niece sent my way, I'm like, you can't be too cynical about life. And then also there is always hope that, you know, we could just leave this world behind and Eddie and I will go start a snorkeling business in Jamaica or something.
Threaten me with a good time.
Hell yeah, let's go.
I'm ready.
We can get that hot tour going on a poster for y'all. Y'all be down there snorkeling in no time.
Okay.
What are you going to be Paul Rudd and forgetting Sarah Marshall?
Yep, that's me.
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just give me the Mai Tais, boys. Just give me the Mai Tais. We'll get this for
The weather outside is weather. Appreciate the call, Eric.
See you, Eric.
All right, y'all. Adios.
No, seriously, when you start to see like the next generation rise up in family, you're like, okay,
Yeah.
I can't be too. I worry about them and like what's coming their
Right, yeah,
way,
right.
but it's more like they're definitely great things in life. I'm very much looking forward to driving up to Birmingham, seeing an old friend I haven't seen in a while too.
Yeah. And that's the thing. It's like some people, you see a lot of people, the way they interact on social media, especially young men, especially unmarried young men, and you can see they've been blackpilled.
Yeah,
and
man.
I have a lot of fun talking about the nonsense in the world, and it's my job to talk about the nonsense in the world. But I'm telling you, dude, when I'm at home, got my beautiful wife next to me, and playing with reading a book to my son and daughter, there could be a nuclear bomb
Right.
going on outside, and I'd be the happiest man in the world. I mean, that's my future, that's my legacy. All this other stuff is just white noise, and I'm raising children, hopefully, that can deal with whatever garbage comes in their generation with a similar level of joy. And I think that's important, because
Well-
being grateful for what you have leads to joy, and joy means that you're untouched by all this nonsense.
That was beautiful and way too wholesome. So
Sorry.
I'm going to Romex Angler. He says, when's the last time Craig had his ass handed to him in thumb wrestling?
I'm actually double jointed in my thumb, so it's very
Oh.
difficult.
Oh, wow.
Almost impossible. Then,
It's
yeah.
very
Oh.
difficult to get me. Hold on, let me show you. Ready? Wait, where's the camera? All right, let's
There
see.
it is. Oh.
Almost looks
that was
painful.
gnarly. Do
Right.
it again.
There we go.
Oh, I heard it.
Yeah, it pops. It
Yeah.
pops. So I'm not the best in offense, but when you're double jointed, you have unbeatable defense in thumb wrestling.
It's true. It's true.
So that's your answer, Romex Angler.
Yeah, most people try to arm wrestle me, and I nearly shattered my elbow arm wrestling when I was like 18. I've never done it since. They
Yeah.
get apparently I've heard from some surgeons that they say when they see those spiral fractures in the elbow, it's almost always from people arm wrestling. So no, thank you.
Yeah, no thanks.
No thanks. No.
Yeah.
Yeah. That
Or-
Devin Larrett guy, I don't know if you follow him or seen his stuff. He's that big
What's-
gorilla arm wrestling dude. He's fractured a lot of people's elbows.
What's the Sylvester Stallone movie? Over the Top?
Over the top. Yeah. Great soundtrack, too.
What's the name of that wrestler in that movie? I feel like there's a lot of wrestlers in that movie.
Ooh, I'd have to look it up.
I don't think it is, but I want to say it's Roddy Piper, but I don't think it is.
That was a great
remember he was
movie.
so over the top.
Dude, I watched that movie. I thought that was the key to winning. I just had to get over the top, and then I lost.
Terry Funk.
Terry Funk.
Terry Funk.
Really?
You egg sucking dog. Yeah.
That's weird.
And he
Terry-
said, I just want the truck. I the truck.
So let's get serious for a second, because I did want to get to this, and we're running out of time here. But yesterday there was a big press conference and by Steve Marshall, Sheriff Cunningham, Hal Taylor of Aaliyah, and the interim chief, Chief Grayboys, or Grayboy, I don't know.
You've made me question my
He's
own
Grey
sanity
Boys,
with that one.
But I don't know either.
And they're announcing, it's been going on since June the 24th, but it is a Metro task force taking on crime in the area. And it's had some success in the few weeks, which, actually, when I was saying this should happen yesterday, it was happening yesterday. And so I think this is a good development. But of course, the politics, like talking to all the principals in this too, like talking to the mayor, the sheriff's office, everybody, it always comes up with politics is going to be played, right?
Yeah.
Well, it looks like, and I'm reading right from Craig Monger wrote this, yeah.
Who? That guy sounds handsome.
Marshall also, don't go too far. Marshall also seemingly contradicted Mayor Reed's claims, in which Reed told WSFA that Max, that's his task force, came from Mayor Reed contacting Aaliyah and other law enforcement agencies. Quote, this is something that initiated with us reaching out to our sheriff's office, reaching out to Alabama law enforcement agency, and they were very, very receptive, Reed told WSFA on Wednesday. It's really about the results that we're looking for, and that's why we're proud to do this several months ago. Now to Attorney General Steve Marshall at the press conference, quote, the reality is that usually Aaliyah and the AG's office are not directly involved in local violent crime initiatives. I can tell you, says Attorney General Marshall, this effort did not begin as a result of a phone call from city officials or even from the local police department. It's because we heard the citizens of Montgomery. We heard you demand that you needed to feel safe in this community, and we responded in a way that you've already heard dramatic success from all the partners involved. But two people need to be given immense credit, says Attorney General Marshall, and that is Secretary Taylor and Sheriff Cunningham. He added, I can tell you that the genesis for the idea, the planning, and the development of the project began with the leadership of Aaliyah. Sheriff Cunningham didn't think twice when asked to be involved. And the Montgomery Police Department stepped up and said, we want to be a participant in a way that makes the difference in the community. Well, there you go. That's
that
little
was embarrassing.
Wow.
Well,
yeah, and he made. I will just say that the Attorney General made real sure that I caught that little tidbit. He didn't need to. It was as plain as the Pike staff. But yeah, that one was. You should be embarrassed to have to get corrected in that way.
And now I want to quote the quote that you provided, Craig, in your piece, Sheriff Derek Cunningham. Quote, this message ain't for those that go to and from work. This message ain't for those who want to live in a neighborhood where they can feel safe. This message ain't for our kids that want to go play at the park, or kids that want to go to school, or kids that want to have a playful time in our communities and our neighborhoods. This message is for those people that think they can disrupt our way of living, disrupt our business community, disrupt these families in these neighborhoods and these communities. This message is for you. This message is, if we didn't get you this time, we're going to get you next time. So the message we're sending is that we hear the calls, we hear the complaints, and we're doing something about it. We're sending out a strong message to the elements in our community that want to disrupt our way of life. We have something. We're targeting you. We're coming for you.
Yeah.
Woo!
All right.
Dude, I'm telling you, man, Sheriff Cunningham is about that life.
Yeah.
It's about it.
Wow. That was awesome.
I'm glad he put it out there.
Yeah. And dude, Cunningham has not been the problem here. And he's actually been the opposite.
Right.
He's been fighting an uphill battle for quite some time. And when these partners come together to do something like this, when Aaliyah comes in, when the AG's office comes in and gives their own investigators, he doesn't take it as it's not an ego trip for him like it might be for some other people who think that, oh, you're just trying to come and mess with my spot. He's like, yeah, come on, well, let's do it.
Yeah.
We'll help where we can. That's called teamwork. That's called cooperation. That's how you get things done. Yeah. Funnily enough, you know who wasn't at that press conference yesterday?
The mayor.
Yep.
Oh, out of town again?
Yeah.
But I have it on good authority that
I almost said something.
I have it on good authority that MPD, the officials at MPD, did want to be involved with this.
Yeah.
As soon as I heard about it.
100%. Yeah. I have.
I
I have. Oh gosh, what's his name? He was the interim chief right before.
John Hall.
Yeah. Okay. Hall. Sorry. Yeah. Him and Gray Boys and the rest of them. I sincerely believe that they are well intentioned. I really do. So that it's not a slight on them. And obviously, Gray Boys just showed up, so like you can't criticize the guy who literally just got here. So we'll see. I'm very hopeful, and honestly, I say why even keep him as interim? Let him see how he can handle he knows the area, he knows the department.
Right?
Why not just give him the full
understood
reins?
that.
Or even Hall. Like, I mean, did we need it? We swapped out one interim for another.
Well, and
like,
then the question is, do they want it? Like, they're happy to do the interims thing, but
possibly, yeah. I mean, who wants that job?
Let's go to line one. You're on there. Who's this? Is this a mime on the other end of the line?
2 words. First word.
Hello. Nope, nobody there.
Guten Tag.
Let's not be German or Russian.
Oh, sorry. Ni hao. Hola.
Hola.
No, go back.
It's not Eric the dog.
Alhamdulillah. That's the only Arabic word I know.
This part of the program brought to you by Montgomery Men's Health and their Montgomery Men's Health brother. They can help you out, especially if you're noticing a lot of symptoms that are usually associated with low testosterone. That could be lack of motivation,
right?
Lack of energy and drive, including sex drive. You're never in the mood. You're always tired. Perhaps unwanted weight gain, loss of muscle mass, even like you're feeling like you're walking through life in a fog, haunted by past memories of your younger self. Well, knowing whether or not you have low T is huge in combating some of these issues. This very clearly happens to men in their 40s, 50s, 60s, and some guys want to keep working, want to keep that edge. But it's even happening to guys in their 20s and 30s now, low T issues. So get by Montgomery Men's Health. The providers there will conduct a testosterone-focused lab workup plus a consultation for only $99. Plus, you'll get a PSA score, which is a great marker for prostate health without the invasive, finger. And then, of course, at Montgomery Men's Health, if you do have low T, they have treatment options there that can truly change lives. Men can experience higher energy, better gains in the gym, brother. Better mental clarity, improved sleep patterns, a faster metabolism, you usually even notice an increased libido.
There's nothing wrong with that.
And you can actually book the same day that you call. That number, 440-3663. That's 440-3663. We'll go to MontgomeryMen'sHealth.com to book your appointment today.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Make 2024 the year you break away from the chain stores and join us here at Adams Drugs. We value your business and want to provide you the best customer service at the lowest possible price. We've been serving up excellent customer service here in the River region for over 62 years.
I made the swap to Adams Drugs and I couldn't be happier. Having a job and then getting 3 kids to all of their activities keeps me busy. I don't have an hour to waste waiting on a prescription. At Adams, they know me and my family. I get in and out in minutes, and when I can't get by Adams, they'll bring the prescription right to my door.
What are you waiting for? Come in to Adams Drugs and let us earn your business. Our friendly and personal staff will talk with you and answer any questions you may have about your prescriptions. Your satisfaction is our #1 goal. Visit us at adamsdrugs.net for the location nearest to you. Adams Drugs is your local independent Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
If you need to rent equipment, you need it fast. You need it to be right, and you need it to be easy. In other words, you need Thompson Rents. We know exactly what you need because we live and work where you do. Our business is homegrown and local, just like yours. Since 1957, Thompson has been with you every step of the way, with equipment to rent or buy that fits your needs and your budget. Today, we've got it all, like Cat compact equipment to rent or buy, including skid steers, backhoes, and mini excavators. Plus, allied brands like Genie, Toro, Almond, and Finn, with pumps, aerial lifts, carry deck cranes, light towers, and more. All backed by people you probably not only know and like, but who you can absolutely trust. So visit ThompsonRents.com for more details or the location near you. Thompson Rents. We're here for you.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
Sharon at Whitworth Farm Equipment now has a qualified and certified mechanic. Gary Baker can do it all. They're here to keep you in the field. Your tractor should work as hard as you do and keep working. For all parts and service, come see Whitworth Farm Equipment for all tractor parts, implements, and trailers. And now selling pine straw rolls. Go to Whitworth Farm Equipment, 285-9977, or at 7458 Peatsville Highway. The River Region's News Talk Station. News Talk 93.1, WACV. News Talk 93.1.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. Let's go right to the phones and talk to Ray Bowles from Prattville Carpet. Hey, Ray, how you doing today?
Man, we are great. We are almost to Blue Ridge, Georgia.
Ooh.
So I'm a little salty at Emerald. You know, they're moving up here. Jacob took the position as First Baptist. What is it? Associate Pastor of First Blue Ridge, Georgia. First Baptist, Blue Ridge, Georgia. That's it.
Okay.
But yesterday, I'm still salty about this. And I think you'd be salty too. So we had a birthday party for at the house last night. She comes with 4 envelopes and hands them to us and said, now everybody open them at the same time. What do you think is going to be in that envelope?
It ain't cash.
I would expect a picture of a baby, of like a sonogram of a baby.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I'm over there tearing up and starting to cry. So I think I'm fixing to be a granddaddy again. Open it up. No. She got her master's degree and didn't tell anybody.
Oh, well, that's still really cool, man.
Congratulations.
Well, it would have been really cool if I wasn't expecting her grandbaby. So then I was all salty about it. And I was all proud of it at the same time. She had me all kind of emotional yesterday.
Oh, I bet.
And now she's got me driving to Blue Ridge.
That's what
She's
daddies
wrecking
do.
my whole weekend, guys. So I need some help. Please call Prattville Carpet and order support. That'll make me feel so much better.
The number's still 285-8117.
It is. Call us today, 285-8117. They'll come back and give you that free measurement. I'll be back at work Monday morning.
Sounds good, man. Be careful, Ray.
Appreciate it, Ray.
All right, guys. Have a great day.
See you, buddy.
Yeah, you could say 285-8117 and be, congratulations, Granddad.
Yeah.
Well, did we learn anything today? Yeah, we learned about brainwashing.
We did.
Yes, actually, you're right. On both sides.
We learned about Trump's foreign policy in the second term from Mr. Herman. I appreciated his time.
Mm-hmm.
We learned that Duke can't think of anything that would make him vote for Trump.
That he could say on air. I bet I can have that conversation off air. Him and I could come up with a couple of things.
We learned that Barack and Michelle Obama endorsed Kamala Harris.
Big Mike!
Goodness gracious.
I can't help it now.
Those are a pair of masculine ladies between the two of them.
My goodness gracious, guys.
Strong jaws.
Y'all are playing right into the hands of
can't
the
help
left.
it. Can't help it.
Wait, by the way, when is it so bad to just point out that someone is just genuinely unlikable? Like,
And it has nothing to do with their sex, even
'Cause
though
it's
these ladies
subjective.
have gotten out of control.
Because it is subjective, and folks are going to be like, well, but no, but that's my person, and how dare you?
Yeah, but that just means that you're as equally as annoying and unpleasant as them.
Yeah.
That's all that says to me. So maybe you should rethink your life instead of telling me that I'm wrong, because I'm just not.
Was she the first lady while you were in school?
No.
Michelle?
Wait. Yes.
Well, the reason I'm saying that is
in college.
Okay. If I went to public school and Michelle Obama was first lady, I'd be pissed because she ruined lunch.
Yeah.
She ruined lunch. There was no, remember, y'all don't know if y'all remember, but we had Good Pizza Day.
Yeah.
Didn't have that no more. You had Celery Day.
People have been spreading these transgender stuff for a long time. I always just thought she was like a CrossFitter or something.
She's fit.
No, there's actually a legitimate portion of the of right wingers that believe that she is legitimately a man. Like, and it's not
So
just to be
crazy.
funny.
That-
It's
I
not
mean,
just to be funny.
that's just crazy to me.
She's like, show me a picture of Michelle Obama pregnant.
Right.
I'll pay you $1 million.
Because I've seen those. I'm like,
Remember how Scott Adams said part of the brainwashing is the conspiracy theories
Yeah.
that people just glob onto? It's like, well, I kind of like that idea.
Yeah, it is hilarious, but you can't. There's no pleasing the conspiracy people, and I mean,
No, and some of them are my friends.
yeah, plenty.
A lot
I'm,
of
I'm
them,
friends
yeah.
with plenty of them, and I'm sympathetic. That's the thing. I'm sympathetic to people that even the flat earthers. Like, I'm sympathetic because you've been lied to so many times. But hey, guess what? The Greeks knew that the Earth was round 2,000 years before America was a thing. So relax.
So y'all watching the Olympics this weekend?
I would rather duty in my hands and clap. Could not care less about the Olympics. Thank you very much.
Eddie?
I'll probably watch a little bit of it. Just mainly I want to see if anything happens. Like watching NASCAR. Waiting for the
And
race.
I also know you like watching ladies shot put.
Not so much, but we got one of those in
don't
Wetumpka.
deny it.
Can we just point out how creepy women's sports are in general? It's like, do you okay, you're throwing a spear. Do you have to wear essentially a thong to do that? We get what you're doing. Just
I
stop.
kind of noticed, some of the uniforms are a bit.
By the way, it's like even when you're running track, it's like, well, they have to do that. It's like, I don't see the men doing that. The men are essentially wearing like tight boxer briefs.
The long jump, the women's long jump.
It's creepy.
Yes.
Beach volleyball, God help us all. It's a nightmare. Yeah, but I don't. You actually
it's like,
have to.
seriously, this isn't even political. Shut up, man.
Yeah, the beach volleyball.
Like, be cool.
Excuse me, I'm a Christian man, and I like sports to remain. Well, first of all, I like sports
I'm a
to
creep.
remain.
I'm a weirdo.
I don't think women's sports should be a thing, but much less, I don't want to.
What the hell am I doing here?
Watch a bunch of prostitutes play volleyball.
I don't belong here.
But don't you actually kind of have to have a country in order to feel patriotic about it? In a mass world games type scenario, we don't have a country.
Well, we're not putting our best and brightest out there. I can tell you that.
No, but like, where's you have to have patriotism to care about something like the Olympics, and we're not a society that fosters patriotism.
Well, hold on,
so
we
I
got
don't
Flavor
care.
Flav's out there now. He's working with the women's polo team. Flavor Flav is like
what is he
one of their
doing?
biggest supporters. He even got in the pool, which was comical.
Like Jerry Sandusky.
Well, I don't know about that, but he's very involved.
He's very involved, like Jerry
Yeah.
Sandusky.
No, hey, look at the time.
Look at the time.
Y'all stay tuned. Happy Hours next. We'll be back Monday.
From the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. Multiple communities in Idaho have been evacuated after lightning strikes sparked fast-moving